It was more than a home run last night. It was a welcome back Will Myers. He'll be leading off again this evening. The Padres and Rockies. Ground ball, shortstop Reyes, the throw to the plate. Not in time, the Padres win. The winning run, only the second walk-off victory of the season for the Padres. A good cause for celebration, and Brett Wallace gets the celebratory bath. A 2-1 win, and a lot of it came from the very top of the batting order. Good to see.
It's nice to set the table for hitters 4, 5, and 6 if 1, 2, and 3 can do some damage. And last night, it was Will Myers who turned on that fastball. It was a very nice pitch. Sending it, you can hung the laundry on that one. And then Solarte batting second. And then Matt Kemp, Dick, second half of the season, he's swinging the bat really well. We know that.
Solarte with a couple of doubles last night. He has a hitting streak of 9 straight. And then Kemp, he's looking tonight for his 29th consecutive game, reach base safely.
And when all told, 9 total bases for 1, 2, and 3. And the one thing that really sticks out to me is putting the ball in play. Only 2 strikeouts in that 1, 2, 3 combination last night. So avoid the strikeout, put the ball in play. Hopefully somebody runs into one and take your chances that way.
Well, on the season, James Shields has received more run support than any Padre pitcher. Let's see if that offense is clicking again tonight. Well, Will Myers, a topic of discussion around Petco all day long. Is he really back? Is that wrist cured? Is he going to continue to hit like that home run last night? That's coming up.
Corey Spangenberg scored the game-winning run yesterday, getting warmed up for Game 3 of this 4-game series against the Rockies. Welcome back to Petco Park. Well, Will Myers yesterday hit his first home run since he had the wrist surgery, coming off the disabled list. And during that time after the surgery, he was working on a two-handed follow-through. That was supposed to take some of the pain off the left wrist. Turns out he made some adjustments. He doesn't need that two-handed follow-through. He went back to the regular one and it paid off last night.
It's been tough. I've stopped using the two hands now, so I'm back to one. But yeah, that was definitely tough. But I feel like I have my swing back now.
So he's got his swing back and the pain's all gone, so maybe we'll see some more of that swing today. Maybe not quite the same theatrics as we saw last night in that walk-off win as the Padres try and take 2 in a row against the Rockies. James Shields on the mound. First pitch is coming up from Petco Park.
Lexus dealer by Petco. What we feed them matters. And by Sony Action Cam. Prove yourself. Well, it's game 3 of the 4-game series. 4 because of the rain out to make up tomorrow afternoon, and the weather unusually warm here on this Wednesday, September 9th. 93 degrees at game time. Now let's see if the Padre bats will heat up with the weather.
Oh, I like that. Like that a lot.
And a look at the Rockies lineup first, brought to you by Hyundai. They'll lead it off with Charlie Blackmon in center field. Then Jose Reyes. Carlos Gonzalez, he has 36 home runs, and Nolan Arenado hit his 37th last night. They're 1-2 in the National League. Justin Morneau bats 5th. DJ LeMahieu with that flossy .318 batting average, among the league leaders. Then Corey Dickerson back in the lineup off the DL in left field, hitting 7th. Dustin Garneau bats 8th, the catcher. Nick Hundley again still bothered by a bad neck, is not in the lineup. And then Chris Russin, the pitcher, he's not a bad hitter.
And the Padres Scouting Report brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. James Shields. Big James got to locate that fastball. Expand with the changeup. They can get some swings and misses, and also keep the ball in the yard. He's surrendered 28 home runs this year, this being his 30th start for the veteran right-hander.
And against the Colorado Rockies, Shields has given up more than his share of home runs. Marty Foster calling balls and strikes tonight with Winters, Muchlinski, and Wegner on the bases. don't often compliment the umpires, and well, we should when they do an outstanding job. And I think this crew has been the most consistent crew we've seen all year.
I say give them a little bit of love. Hey, I don't think I could do it, and it's a tough job, and they deserve some love sometimes.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Okay, first one, Pods score first. When the Padres score first, I'd have to look that one up. But
46 and 21.
Awesome. But, you know, when they score first, that means that the Rockies, when the opponents score first, the Rockies are 18 and 64.
Better yet.
And then the Rocks, no home runs allowed for the Rockies. If James Shields can keep the ball in the ballpark, take your chances that way. Hey, how about remember how early in the year he was getting a lot of love and a lot of support? How about get a lot of support early on for James Shields?
Yeah, 5.2 runs per start for Shields on the entire season, but it was even bigger than that in April and May. Well, we're ready to go. Charlie Blackmon will start it for the Rockies, hitting .289, 15 homers. Tough out. This is a tough lineup. They lead the National League in hitting. Almost the same average as the Giants. Walt Weiss trying to improve on last year's 66 and 96 record. They've got some winning to go to match that. They need at least 9 more wins to equal their total of a year ago. Ground ball right back to them. Oh, muffed by Shields, and Blackmon is safe. Well, come back right to the pitcher, and the leadoff man is on, and he's a dangerous base runner. 36 stolen bases.
Hey, believe me, been there, done that. Very frustrating. Sure, it's on the right side of James Shields, but a very catchable ball. Was it a changeup off the bat? You're anticipating a P-Rod, and it's not hit that hard. Can't come up with it. And that's going to be an E1.
Well, Shields will have to pitch out of his own error as Jose Reyes, the shortstop, steps in. That's his average since coming over to the National League, and a Rocky. He was with Toronto earlier, part of the Troy Tulowitzki trade, with Tulo going up to Toronto. Ball one outside. Reyes was hitting .285 with the Blue Jays, and now .277 with Colorado, so very consistent. Former batting champion with the Mets.
I thought he was going to be a Met forever and ever. Amen, Jose Reyes.
It's close over there at first. Shields has an excellent move. Has picked off 34 runners in his career.
You just get that runner at first base. As you look at the percentage, 73 for Charlie Blackmon, always the threat. Just get him leaning just that little bit to second base, and James Shields is so darn quick and accurate with the throw as well.
Way outside again, 2-0. And with Myers covering first base, that long arm should help. Give you a little more room to slap that tag on the runner. Cargo on deck, and then Nolan Arenado. It's not just because of Coors Field. This is a lineup that hits.
Yeah.
Threw a changeup over to Myers.
You know what, Dick, as a pitcher, from the standpoint of a pitcher, you want to throw the baseball over here on the outfield side. And like you said, if you throw it over here, that first baseman's got to go all the way around that way to apply the tag. So on the outfield side of first base is very key as well.
And 3-0 to Reyes. Shields working himself into trouble here in the first inning. He's committed an error to put Blackmon on, and now 3-0 to Reyes, with the big home run hitters waiting their turn. And a 4-pitch walk. You know, James Shields uses all 4 of his pitches.
Yeah, the fastball at 91. A lot of changeups. And that changeup, even right-handed hitters, he'll throw it any time. He'll throw the changeup any time in the count. That's been documented all year long. You know, there was one point in the season also where that curveball was coming in pretty nicely out of the hand. That was one of his go-to pitches.
Here's Colin Ray. Terrific job last night. 7 innings, shutout ball, only 2 hits.
Progress. Nice going, kid. That's a good night in the big leagues right there.
Ground ball into left field for a base hit. Here comes Blackmon around third. Here's the throw by Upton to the plate. Going to be a play, and he is out of there. What a throw by Justin Upton. And an excellent tag by catcher Derek Norris. I was surprised that third base coach Stu Cole didn't throw up the stop sign.
I'm right there with you, Dick. So let's go back to the pitch. Now everybody's off and running. It did look like Blackmon, he kind of maybe held up just a little bit. Now the lane, it happened so quickly. Norris on the short hop. And the swipe tag. Does he get that foot on? Yeah, boy, tough to tell. But Walt Weiss, is he on the top step waiting for a phone call? And hats off, you bet, to Justin Upton.
That's a big play. And here's Nolan Arenado. Weiss came up to the top of the steps and may have said something to the plate umpire, Marty Foster, but I thought I heard him say, no, too much time. You can't wait that long. Good. You need to have more of that. 8th outfield assist by Upton. Matt Kemp has 10, so the corner outfielders have played solid defense this year and made a lot of big plays.
Boy, does that make a pitcher feel good when you complete a play like that at the plate. And let's not discount what Derek Norris did there. Playing first baseman with all the catcher's gear on and that catcher's glove to pick that throw. He does it all. He can make a mean Mai Tai as well, Derek Norris.
How do you know that?
He can shake a margarita with the best of them.
No. She doesn't like to be shaken. Arenado hit the home run in the 9th inning to tie it 1-1 last night. Then the Padres won in the bottom of the 9th. Leads the National League in home runs and RBIs. And at age 24, that's almost historical for someone that young as a third baseman to lead those two power categories. In fact, if he goes on and completes it, he would be the youngest ever third baseman to lead the National League in home runs and RBIs. The Bull from El Toro. Pickoff move, and that one bobbled by second baseman Spanchenberg.
Boy, not only is James Shields quick to first base, you just see how quick he was with his feet there to second, and he fired a seed.
With runners in scoring position, Shields has been brilliant. Second best in the National League, as you saw that graphic. 186 batters against Shields with runners in scoring position. And he's already, thanks to Upton, erased one tonight. There it is again. Carlos Martinez, the Cardinals, with the best batting average against, 181. But there's Shields ahead of Arrieta, Hellickson, and Walker.
That is crunch time and coming through big time.
Well, you have money hitters, and then that's money pitching.
Yep.
2-1 to Arenado. And 3-1. Now he's worked himself into another hole. And Arenado, as we look at Morneau on deck, Arenado has had unusual success against Shields. 8 for 14. 8 for 14, and 3 of them home runs. So no wonder he's working carefully to the third baseman. Popped up, might be a play. Myers in foul territory, and there's 2 away. Big out on a 3-1 pitch. Let's look at the Padre defense, brought to you by San Diego County Ford Dealers. Melvin Upton's in center field tonight with brother Upton in left and Kemp in right. Solarte and Jerko on the left side. Jerko getting another start at shortstop. Spanchenberg and Myers at second and first. And Norris behind the plate for James Shields. Here's Morneau batting .276. Ground ball up the middle, and Spanchenberg can't stop it. And around second and to third goes Reyes, and in to score, and it's 1-0. So Morneau didn't hit it hard, but able to dribble it through the center of the diamond, and the Rockies are on the board first.
First pitch offering to Morneau, and he's going to sacrifice that bat. You can see that at second base. Spangenberg trying to dive, and James Shields out of the reach. Now he's hoping Spangenberg, and everything's in slow motion trying to get it, and it doesn't happen. You know, you give up an 18 hopper like that, you hope that a glove gets it, but not the case. He made a good pitch.
Brings up DJ LeMahieu, a 318 hitter. And here's your number 6 batter in your lineup, and yet he's the 5th best in the National League. Gonzalez goes to second. Mornos at first. On the inside corner.
You're going to have to keep an eye on the velocity of James Shields as well. 91, 92-ish. We've talked about that.
The run is unearned, and any other run scored here in the first would also be unearned because of Shields' error opening the door. And there's another line drive base hit. Melvin Upton up with it, and his throw will be to third base. Scoring is Gonzalez. It's 2-0. LeMahieu continues his solid hitting. That's his 53rd RBI.
Let's check out the location. That ball just leaks over the heart of the plate. Staying on it and taking it right where it was pitched. It just goes to show you, folks, that ball that just leaks over the heart of the plate, maybe a few inches, what a big difference it is, rather than being on the outside part of the plate off the end of the bat and a weak rounder on the infield.
2 runs in, and thanks to the strong throw by Upton in left field, it isn't a bigger inning for the Rockies. Here's Corey Dickerson. He's hitting .313 off the DL, a rib injury. And he lines one to right, but that's going to carry to Kemp for the out. 2 unearned runs. Here come the Padres. Will Myers to lead it off. Makes the play against the wall. Arenado gets into one. Myers will watch that one go all the way. On ball. Not in time. The Padres win. That's a lot of excitement for a 2-1 victory.
Yeah.
As the Padres lineup is brought to you by Toyota tonight, with Myers leading off, then Solarte in the midst of a 9-game hitting streak. Had a couple of doubles last night, then Matt Kemp. Justin Upton will bat in the cleanup spot. Jed Jerko 5th, then Derek Norris. Melvin Upton Jr. hit 7th. Corey Spangenberg 8th, and then the pitcher Shields against Chris Russin, 28-year-old lefty. Shut out the Padres last month at Coors Field on a 5-hitter. Beat him 5-0. Myers gets it started, bottom of the first. Padres have to work uphill, down 2-0 early.
Well, the Padres have already one look at Chris Russin up in Colorado, as you mentioned, Dick, and the scouting report looks something like this. He's got the fastball, the slider, the change, the curveball. Not overpowering, but he moves the ball around with that cutter into the righties. He'll backdoor it at time, and he's a strike thrower. So you're going to get something to hit. It's just a matter of him executing that movement, try to stay off the sweet spot of the Padres' bats. Oh, there's the quick pitch again. Remember that last time we saw him?
Yeah. 1-2 to Myers. Now, Russin has not been as successful on the road as he has at home. In 8 starts, he's 1-5 on the road. Let's hope that is a trend that continues tonight. He has a 2-0 lead. 2-2.
It's exactly where he wanted it, because the catcher, Dustin Garneau, tapped his glove right near the back foot of Will Myers.
And a full count. Russin, his whip, his walks and hits per innings pitch is over 1.5. So you do the math on that. That means you're going to get 13.5 runners a game in 9 innings. So you should have some base traffic. Ground ball to the shortstop, Reyes. And he just does get Myers. As Will can get up that line. 1 away.
Well, we talk about what's in the toolbox of Chris Russin. We talked about that cut fastball. Well, the fastball in general, about 68%. That's, that's pretty cool. 70-ish around for the fastball for any pitcher. But the secondary pitch, the changeup, rather than the slider or the curveball. So I look at that. It's almost like the slider and curveball, something early to show the hitters, and then put them away with either the changeup or the fastball.
The switch hitting Solarte takes strike 1. His .272 average is the best of any Padre in the lineup tonight. Popped it up, middle of the diamond. Shortstop Reyes takes charge, 2 away.
Boy, Solarte really lunging at that last pitch, not letting the ball travel a little bit. Mark Sweeney talks about that quite a bit. Got to stay back.
Checking the Rockies defense. Dickerson back in the lineup in left field with Blackman in center, Cargo in right. Arenado and Reyes manning the left side. LeMahieu at second and Morneau at first. And Garneau behind the plate for Russin. Matt Kemp, 28 straight games he's reached safely.
Dick, you think about that. 28 games. Reaching base, whether it's a hit batsman, a walk, a hit, that's quite an accomplishment.
And he's got eyes on continuing that trend. The last Padre to go this far reaching safely is Adrian Gonzalez, who went 30 consecutive games 9 years ago.
And then you talk hitting streaks. My goodness, 56 games. Joe DiMaggio, come on.
That's right.
That'll never be broken. I'm banking on that one.
Right center field, that's slicing away from Blackman, and that ball is gone. Goodness, that ball carrying. That's getting the 29th game out of the way in major fashion. A home run, number 20 for Matt Kemp.
If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? That was a beat fastball, and Kemp was all over going oppo taco to the beach. What a nice, easy swing. Look at him, just getting that barrel of the bat out there to the baseball, taking it where it was pitched.
Just clearing that right center field fence into the sandbox for number 20 and his 92nd run batted in. So a 2-1 game as Kemp answers for the Padres.
That's a pretty swing, Matt Kemp.
And Upton trying to tie it on that first swing. Kemp has pulled within 4 home runs of Upton with 24, the club leader.
You know what? It's almost like a golfer. A nice, easy, fluid swing, but they hit it 3, whatever, right? That tells me that Matt Kemp is mechanically sound on a swing, because if you look at that dry swing, it's just a nice, easy, the bat's going through the zone, but the ball hits so far and so well, that means to me that everything is mechanically sound in the swing of Matt Kemp.
Just jumping off the barrel of the bat. Off the bat, didn't look as if it had the distance.
It's like you, Professor, on the golf course. Your swing is so smooth and relaxed, and it goes 350.
Yeah. That's then I'd leave the clubhouse, and the trouble begins. 2-1 to Upton. Sharply hit, but right to Reyes. And he throws Upton out. 407 feet. They measure Matt Kemp's home run. After one here at Petco, the Rockies 2, Kemp and the Padres 1. Geico on this day in Major League Baseball history, 1987. Houston right-hander Nolan Ryan at age 40 beat the Giants 4-2. He strikes out 12 of the final 13 hitters he faces, en route to a 16 strikeout performance. Oh my. The Ryan Express, that was 4,500 career strikeouts when he whiffed Mike Aldrete to end the 7th inning. Dustin Garneau getting another start with Nick Hundley not 100%. He's 3 for 26. And Shields starts 2-0. An error and a walk set the table for the Rockies in the first inning, and then singles by Gonzalez, Morneau, and LeMahieu getting them 2 runs. That a wicked low line drive into the box seats just beyond the Rockies dugout. That scattered the fans and hopefully hit a empty seat. Two and one. Lined foul deep down into Souvenir Corner. That's beyond the aisle. Oh, he's had a couple of good hacks here.
Yeah, way out in front of 2 pitches. And let's see if James Shields counters with something down and in. You know, a pitch down and in, especially after 2 foul balls like that, that's tough to keep fair. You know, he likes to throw that changeup down and into righties.
Breaking ball outside. And he went. That'll be the first strikeout for Shields.
Shields counters with the breaking ball down and away. I don't know if he hits it at the double. So a good call right there by crew chief Mike Winters.
Chris Russin, the pitcher. He's hitting .237. 9 hits and 38 at bats. He's hit a home run. Former Wildcat at the University of Kentucky.
Lexington, right?
Lexington indeed. In fact, after the season ends, I'll make my annual trip back there. My pal Jack Bailey's going to come up from Florida and go to Keeneland and catch a weekend of racing at that wonderful old racetrack.
That's beautiful country, I'll bet.
Oh,
especially that time of the year, huh? In the fall.
And staying at Gary Bizance's Cobra Farm, and talk about idyllic conditions. Mares and the young foals romping in the paddock.
Nice.
Beautiful green grass. And that old Kentucky home hospitality. If I only could pick a winner, man, that would really be great then. 2-1 to Russin. High fly ball, shallow left. Upton squeezes the second out. And to the top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon safe on the error by Shields in the first inning. The sun setting between those two buildings. Interesting shot. That new Sempra building is really a beauty, isn't it? I like the American flag there high above the top of that building.
Beautiful architecture downtown San Diego.
Yeah, well, you come flying in there, it's a nice skyline. It's not just a little quiet Navy town anymore. That's a strike to Blackmon. There it is. Here's the flagstaff that reaches Old Glory high above the building. Some feel it may have impacted the weather.
Sure.
The wind currents here at Petco Park. They're building another big one just on the other side of Petco Park. Used to be the parking lot as you came into the stadium on the right hand side. And based on the depth of the hole they're digging, I think that's going to be a very tall building. Swing and a miss. A slow curveball, and Blackmon way out in front. A couple of strikeouts for Shields in the second.
At Wallace, it was his first career opportunity for a walk-off moment, and he came in the clutch. So his very first walk-off pinch, and we've seen how well he can pitch hit recently, and it's not a position that he's very familiar with in his career. So when he knew that this was his role in the clubhouse, he enlisted the help of Mark Kotze, and the two of them came up with a schedule, and it seemed to work out pretty well for them. He'll go down and work it in with the tee with Alonzo Powell about the fourth inning, and that's when he starts getting kind of his warm-up in, and then slowly kind of starts to heat up, and it's really started to pay off for him.
He has indeed. In fact, you have to be complimented, Chris Button, the way she danced around the Gatorade and then the ice bath, and she faked left, went right, and then she backed off. She was terrific.
Quick on your feet, Chris.
Job
well done.
Although in this weather, that ice bath might feel pretty good. Over 90 degrees at the start of the game. Jed Jerko, 0-1. High fly ball, left field. Dickerson settling under it. Well, he just missed that. He's halfway to second base by the time the ball was caught. That brings up Derek Norris. 2 for 5 against Russin. Norris, who's been doubles happy all season long, has 9 two-base hits against Colorado this year.
Oh, there's a future big leaguer wanting a baseball, and I don't know what that is.
I think that's a sheep, isn't it?
Was it?
Gotta know your.
On a night like tonight, they're wearing a hat like that? I mean, it's 93 degrees.
Might have lost its way. Russin facing Norris now with Melvin Upton next. Russin, a Cubs draft pick in 2009. Off speed and under the hands of Norris. There it is, 13 games, hitting .420 against the Rockies with a couple of home runs. And as we mentioned, those 9 doubles.
Ooh, the quick pitch. See, with nobody on base, you can do that. You can do anything you want. Got to stay in contact with the rubber. Runners on base, different story.
Yeah, you better, once you're settled in the batter's box, you better be alert.
Yes.
Full count.
Now, runner on third, same thing. You go for your windup, you go for your stretch. And that was the big discrepancy last time in Colorado. Runner on third base, Russin went from his windup, what looked like his stretch, his setup. And the Padres caused a little bit of a stink about it, but since there's a runner on third base, that was his windup at the time. It's almost as if both are the same, because see where his feet are set up, Dick? His left foot is in contact with the rubber, and his right foot is in front, as if he's going for the stretch.
Right.
But yet he doesn't stop. Watch, it's one continual motion.
Yeah. Line drive, base hit. Norris continues to hit Colorado pitching, a solid single. 1 out, he's aboard for Melvin Upton. Let's go back to Colorado. Balk or no balk?
Yeah, with the runner on third base. So Russin, he said, wait, I'm going from my windup, so I don't have to stop. The balk was called, and then they reversed the call. So, to me, it was just a big debacle out there. Pat Murphy got tossed, but it all boils down to base runners. See, now he'll have to come to a complete stop. Watch. Runner on first, complete stop. Now he can kick and throw.
And Upton takes a strike. Melvin Jr. batting .234, 5 home runs.
Stay hot, Derek Norris. Bring him around, Melvin Upton Jr.
That's slicing into foul territory and will land on the warning path. Wasn't hit high enough for Cargo to get there. Sorry to hear about the death of Joaquin Andujar.
Yes.
Only 62.
Boy, that guy had a passion for playing baseball and pitching, and he had quite a career.
Passed away in his native Dominican Republic. He had complications from diabetes.
Yeah.
Two strikes to Upton. Foul tip, and just in and out of the glove of Garneau.
Joaquin Andujar, watching him pitch, coming up in the big leagues, the guy could pitch. I mean, the guy had a passion, and it's weird how we always think of certain people the way.
Yeah.
Right? It's a shame for me that blow up in Game 7 against the Royals when he got kicked out of the game and just lost it all and just went ballistic. And that's not what I want to remember about Joaquin Andujar. He won 2 games in that World Series.
Up high. And inspiration for a lot of the young Dominican Republic players that we're watching now in the big leagues.
Sure.
Spangenberg waits his turn. Padres trailing 2-1. Norris the tying run at first with 1 out. And just off the plate.
Just trying to peck away at that outside corner. 85 miles an hour on the off-speed pitch. You really have to let the ball travel. That's probably something we'll be talking about with Mark Sweeney as he joins us from the 4th through the 6th inning. How to battle a pitcher like Russin.
Russin grew up in the Cubs organization. In fact, pitched a no-hitter last year for the Iowa Cubs, the AAA team. And then Chicago, blessed with a lot of talent, felt that he wasn't part of their future and put him on waivers, and the Rockies quickly claimed him. He was 4-9 in his 3 years with the Cubs in the big leagues. 2-2. Right field hit well. That'll chase Cargo back, and that ball is off the wall. Running all the way is Norris, and into second base with a double is Melvin Upton. Boy, the ball is carrying tonight. That line drive just sailing all the way to the wall. Now the Padres have the tying run at third. They'll go ahead score at second with 1 out.
Did you see that throw from right field? That arm of Gonzalez. Oh my goodness. I didn't think it was going to be that close. So let's go back to the pitch. It's a high two-seamer. Melvin is all over it. Takes it the opposite way like he should. Trying to pull it. No, that's not good. Okay, now watch as Carlos Gonzalez goes back. He gets the carom and comes up firing, and look at how close this is. That was very close. The carom working to his advantage. He played that ball nicely.
And the long one hop right on the bag.
Yeah.
So second and third with 1 out. Here's Spangenberg. Infield in at the corners. And the breaking ball for a strike. The only left-handed batter in the lineup tonight against the lefty Russin. Inside. Spangenberg with the winning run last night with a leadoff double in the 9th. Beautiful sacrifice by Clint Barmas, and then just outran the play at shortstop with Reyes making the play on Wallace's ground ball, but Spangenberg just outrunning the throw for the win. Oh, bases are loaded. No intent there. That was a breaking ball. Spangenberg loads him up. And it's up to James Shields to help himself.
Trying to pitch inside. Sometimes it gets away, and hopefully advantage San Diego.
So Shields, who has 1 RBI this year, a big chance here for him to make amends for that error in the first inning that led to a couple of Colorado runs. Morris at third, Melvin Upton at second, and now Spangenberg fills him up for the Padres.
Who wouldn't like to see James Shields run into one here? Even a single.
Ball 1. Infield back, they're looking for a double play chance. Arenado at third is bag high. His play would be to the plate. Or could be to the plate. Morneau also just at the edge of the grass at first base. 2-0. Fastball at 89.
Look at James Shields, command of the strike zone. Eyeballing Russin. Working the count in his favor.
That last one looked pretty good, didn't it? Way outside that one, didn't it? But the pitch before could have been called a strike. And now Chris Russin wobbly with the bases loaded and 3-0 to the pitcher. Ball 4. That walks in the tying run. 4-pitch walk. That's a double no-no. A walk with the bases loaded and a walk to the opposing pitcher after you hit the number 8 hitter, Spangenberg. That's an RBI for Shields.
You know what? Everybody looks for the big hit. Hey, I was looking for the big hit, right? But they the walk, one on, one off, and it's reset to the top of the lineup for Will Myers, who did some damage last night. Believe me, that's in the back of the mind of Chris Russell.
Upton over to third. Spangenberg advances to second. Shields completes the Padre at every pillow. And Myers, who grounded it short, will step to the plate. He'd like to do this. First home run since May 8th. Of course, with all the surgery, the wrist injury, mighty healthy on that swing, and he almost hit a home run the night before, remember, almost a grand slam. So he's finding his range. A 2-2 tie with 1 out, bases loaded. Hit the ball sharply to the shortstop Reyes for an out the first time. That's a strike. Not a lot of variance in the velocity of the fastball and the slider with Chris Russin.
He's just having inconsistency with his release point. Hence the walk to Shields. Hopefully he misses in the zone to Will Myers.
It's low, 1-1.
So you got squeeze on that one. And of course, we talk about it all the time. When you're not consistently throwing the strikes, you're not going to get those close pitches. So rather than 0-2, 1-1, still a good count for Will.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there. Yep. That's twice he's not gotten the call on that knee-high strike. Roller to short. There's one, and a double play. So the Padres settled for the 1 run on the bases loaded walk to James Shields. We go to the third, tied at 2. Radio telethon coming up on Saturday at 2 o'clock as the Padres and Fox Sports San Diego collaborate on raising money to battle cancer. We had a chance to go to Moore's Cancer Center at UCSD last week and excited by the news we're hearing from doctors and researchers and the work that is being done in the battle against cancer. And joining us tonight is Andy Franken. She's over at Rady's Children's Hospital, and your title is Child Life Specialist. Now tell us what that is.
So as a child eye specialist, our job is just to help explain to kids that are at the hospital about what their diagnosis is, help them understand it in a way that they can understand what's going on. We help prepare them for the different procedures that they go to, what they're going to see and feel, and work with their siblings and just really help them experience going through cancer and what they can expect and trying to make it a little bit easier for them.
So your job is really very psychological, isn't it, to try to make a kid who has to be frightened to death and his siblings and his parents feel comfortable that good things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to really be there for them and help them navigate this new and unfamiliar environment and try and make it a little less scary for them.
Andy, what got you into this type of work?
So actually, I have two sisters, and so my middle sister had some health issues, and we had a child life specialist who came to our house and helped to explain to us what was going on. And so I knew, that I loved working with kids and that I'd love to be able to give back in some way. And my dream was always to work with oncology kids, and I just love the population and just feel so honored to be able to work with them.
And all the people at Children's Rady Hospital here in San Diego, it's just phenomenal what they do, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's such an amazing team and such a blessing to be able to be part of it.
Reyes strikes out. That's the first out here in the third inning. Third strikeout for Shields. And, this telethon is going to raise money, and hopefully a lot of money.
Yes.
And it's all going to go to cancer research and cancer help. And there's so many ways in which we can improve conditions, although I think my gut feeling is that here in San Diego, we're ahead of the curve in what we're doing in this battle.
Yes, yeah, and everything makes a difference. And, these kids, they deserve it, and these families, and anything that we can do to help, change, the procedures and the treatments that we're doing and just improve that so that we can keep saving lives of these kids.
Now, you're at Rady, right?
Yes.
And what is the biggest thrill you get out of your daily work?
I just love working with the kids. I think, a lot of times people will say, oh, you work with kids that have cancer, that's so hard. And, definitely there are times where it is really hard. But I think it's so incredible. These kids are just so inspiring. And, they're going through chemo and all of these crazy things. And they are just, still with a smile on their face and just have the best outlook on life. And so I think for me, that's the best part about my job.
Speaking of kids, I had the pleasure of meeting your husband, Morgan, and Ava and Avery are here. First time at the ballpark for your kids and your husband?
They are, and they are very excited.
Really?
Yeah, to experience it this way.
They're very happy over there.
Well, if we win tonight, you kids, you're going to come back now. The other part of your many activities is the fact that don't you coordinate? And like, let's say a couple of Padres want to come and visit with the kids, and you can organize that, and that has to be for. If it's a young guy or girl that loves baseball, to see a major leaguer come to say hello. Yes,
it makes such a huge difference. We've had several of the players come, and the kids just love it. The families love seeing them, and it just really brightens their day. And when they're stuck in the hospital and not able to come to the games, it really makes a difference for them. So we so appreciate all that they do for us.
This is Carlos Gonzalez, one out here in the third inning. He singled to left field his first time and does not go on that check swing. Count is full.
I'm sure one of your goals, Andy, should be very gratifying if, let's say, you're in your office one day at Children's and somebody walks in and says, you know what? Sorry, but we're going to have to fire you. You're going to have to find a different job because you know why? We found a cure for cancer.
I would love that.
You'd be doing cartwheels, right?
I would, yes. I'm hoping that we get there someday.
That's our job with this telethon, folks, with donating Pedal the Cause San Diego, is to make donations and make the awareness for the public out there and make a difference, obviously, but to put people like Andy out of work.
Yes.
And I'm sure you'd have no problem finding other work, but still, that's what we want to do with the people working, right?
Definitely, yeah. We would love to see that in the future and hope that that's what happens.
Well, and the research that is going on, I mean, you're privy to that information, and it isn't as if those that are working to find a cure for cancer are stymied and they don't know where to go next. They're moving rapidly towards some really very important accomplishments, aren't they?
Yes, definitely. Even, in the last couple of years when we started our proton therapy, that was a huge thing that we are able to offer to our patients now. And so definitely, even in the 7 years I've been there, I've seen lots of changes, and it's just incredible to be a part of.
Now, that number we saw, that graphic we pulled up there, the Pedal the Cause radio telethon, I believe you could text now and donate if you want, and tell a friend or a neighbor. And the number you see there is going to be the day of the telethon. So get on the horn, write that down, and tell a friend as well. So take part, and hey, give whatever your heart feels, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's so worth it. I wish that you all could meet these families and these kids. You would not think twice about donating for this amazing cause.
Well, by giving and donating vicariously, they are meeting
Yes.
young boys and girls that we want to have a future and a big
Yes.
life and be able to overcome some bad luck in life.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I know you're doing a fantastic job, and all of your colleagues, and we appreciate you taking time today, and we hope that we're going to inspire our audience to really dig deep and raise a lot of money. And let's beat this, huh? As a team. Let's go get them, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Andy, thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and be
Good luck.
here.
Thank
You guys.
Nice to meet you.
She's a lot prettier than you, Mark.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Good luck to you and your family. So here in the third, 2 outs on a couple of strikeouts, and Arenado fouls it away, 1-2. Arenado fouled out to first, his first at bat. And a line drive to center. Melvin Upton coming up for it and can't make the play. Keeps the ball in front of him, and Arenado will be safe on a single to center.
Oh, good effort right there by Melvin Upton Jr. That's one of those balls that's hit directly at the center fielder, and you really can't get a good read at times because it is right at you. Sometimes you're fooled by the swing. Let's check it out. Off the end of the bat, he holds his ground just a little bit. That could have been a nasty situation getting by Melvin. That's why corner fielders really have to back up your center fielder. Nice job keeping in front of him.
A 2-out single brings up Justin Morneau. He singled in a run in the first inning, and the Rockies scored a couple. RBI singles by Morneau and LeMahieu. So again, that telethon's going to start at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and it'll be from our social media center here, social hour set, and it'll continue right through the game. We'll be up in San Francisco calling the game and updating fans on the contributions that are being made. And I know there are going to be some that are small, and those count too, and some that are going to be very large. And I just believe in our great city and county that we're going to raise a lot of money this weekend. 3-0 now to Morneau. So again, write down 1-844 pedal SD, or text just pedal to 41444.
It's that easy, folks.
There's a strike. 3-1 to Morneau. Had a walk and a single. 1 for 3 last night.
You know, Dick, I think of,
Just missed the bag at third.
I think of the people who work at Children's Hospital and the cancer research and all that. And you know, you think right when you have a busy day, you gotta go to the post office. You gotta stop by the store to get a card. You gotta go get a gallon of milk.
You stepped in someone's gum.
Yeah, you think you've got such a busy day, and then you think of the men and women who are at Children's Hospital and the cancer centers that are just busting their humps each and every day, for hours upon hours upon hours, to try to help kids and find a cure.
Ground ball foul the other way.
It really makes you appreciate it.
Well, I mean, you start with the fact that this is an ugly disease, a cowardly disease. It's never good news when you hear the C word. And so you have people, professionals, like Andy, who are able to walk into a kid's room and convince him it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We're going to help you be better. Morneau hits it high in the air to center, and Upton has plenty of room for the final out. So pedal the cause. There's some of the folks there. There's Andy and her kids. There are the numbers. Join in. Let's make this another winning San Diego effort. Hospital. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney making a visit last week, and I know, Marcus, you join us here, that you had the same feeling I did. I mean, there's some trepidation when you say you're going to go visit a cancer patient, but we all left feeling there is true hope here.
Yeah, it melts your heart to see the kids fighting all of the people that are working at Rady's Children's Hospital, and all hospitals that deal with that, and the time that they put in, and the selflessness that they understand what they're dealing with every single day. It's pretty amazing to see that, and it was great to just be a part of that.
Well, you won't see that very often. Nolan Arenado able to come up with the ball cleanly as he made a dive into the hole. That should be a base knock for Solarte, and it is, and he's now hit safely in 10 straight games.
On the short hop, looks like it gets maybe the thumb of his glove there, off the thumb. Hey, any way, shape, or form you can get on base. Try to get to Russin. Multiple base runners, and take the lead here.
2-2 tie.
How about the way this guy hit the ball last time out, Mark Sweeney?
Yeah, it's the best swing I've seen him take all year. Obviously, the second half, he's been tremendous. But the best swing, because it's off the plate, or on the edge. And like you said, Mark, a pure swing. Just didn't look like he overswung, squared the ball up, and it took off. You take a look at the swing, though. Out of the hands and seeing the ball so well, and he's backing it up, and he's starting to feel much more confident, and he's in a stronger position.
How many times did we see that swing when he was a Dodger right center field home run?
Oh, yeah.
That was his 20th of the year. And there's a drive into left field. That's headed for the corner. Cutting it off is Dickerson, and Solarte is going to hold at second. Without a runner on base, that's a double for Kemp. But Solarte didn't want to run into an out at third as Dickerson came up with the ball quickly. But a rope off the bat of Kemp.
Well, again, Matt Kemp, you see him, and the location of the pitch really indicates the type of swing that you take. This ball is coming in on him because of what he did the last time. And you can see when he swings, he's backing this ball up. And this is correctly hitting it and pulling it the right way. Getting his hands in, and watch the vision. Tracking that baseball off the barrel of the bat. And the balance is just pure and an easy swing. Great bat speed.
Matt Kemp has been Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside tonight. My goodness gracious, covering the whole plate.
Justin Upton grounded sharply to shortstop. Reyes threw him out the first time. Chance for the Padres to take the lead here in the third. They got one in the last inning, and Myers hit into a double play with the bases loaded as they look for more. And this is not the same Chris Russin that shut out the Padres, a complete game shutout up at Coors Field.
Well, after he did that, he faced the Mets the next start. In 2 innings, he gave up 11 runs. So you know that inconsistency is definitely there for the young left-hander.
Straight yard sale last time, huh?
Yeah.
2-0. And that's off the plate. 3-0. That's a good take by the hitter, Upton. 2-0, you figure you're going to get something you can drive, and it's a temptation to go after a pitch that might have led into a double play. You try to pull that outside delivery.
Exactly right.
He might be green lighted here. Yep, but he nubs it up the first baseline, just foul. Not off the head of the bat.
I thought that ball had a little spin on it to where it was going to make its way over the bag there.
3 balls and a strike. Solarte carrying the tie-breaking run at second, and Kemp at first, no one out.
Everything's down and away here.
That went up and in, but couldn't find it. 90 on the fastball.
You see it just above the barrel of Justin Upton. He was trying to change the game right there.
Right down the middle, strike 3. Well, actually caught the corner. But obviously a strike 3. And that's the first strikeout for Chris Russin.
Mark Sweeney, let's take a look at the hand here of Russin. Looks like a 4-seamer maybe?
That looked like a 2-seamer to me. Just a little movement back, and that's what froze Justin Upton.
Gotcha, right on the inside corner. Good pitch. After going away, doubled up inside. Up, and then for the kill there, the fastball at the knees.
Jed Jerko flied to left, and he just missed it. He hit it way up in the air. Had he leveled that swing and driven the ball, it had been a 400-plus home run. He's 0 for 8 against Chris Russin. Falls behind on the count, 2 strikes.
You know, guys, what happens as we take a look at the Love Boat?
Yeah.
Julie McCoy. Who else is on there?
Ted Lang is your bartender.
Captain Stubing.
That's a great feeling,
Barbie
isn't
Benton.
it, when you're leaving port, you're on your way to a great vacation on one of those beautiful liners.
Somewhere Barbie Benton is on the deck somewhere.
Hepzibah Liederkranz, I think, is on that one.
Exactly right. Yes.
She won the Pick the Stick up in the Midwest League.
And she got a free cruise out of it?
Yeah. What do we get here? Who wins? I mean, it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a Rolex watch.
Free bowl of soup is what I heard.
High, deep drive to left. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is a home run. Jerko, a 3-run shot. Solarte and Kemp score on a 3-run blast off the bat of Jerko. Well, he hit it high again, but this time it had the distance as well. Number 14.
Have you seen Junior's grades? 0-2, turning on the fastball. Jed Jerko. Hey, you talk about Justin Upton trying to change the game on that one swing, Mark Sweeney. Well, 0-2, you got to protect. Russin's been going outside, inside, and Jed turned all over that one.
Yeah, I just didn't like the location. If you're a Colorado Rocky and you're watching Russin work, you're constantly throwing fastballs in. We take a look at the swing. Foot down early, and he's using that lower half really well. It's propelling that bat head through the baseball, and he's getting a lot of carry, and that's inside the fair pole.
About 5 feet fair. Norris lined a single to left field his first time. So 5-2 Padres as they're using the home run ball tonight. Kemp solo shot his 20th and Jerko's 14th with 2 men aboard. Measured at 372 feet.
I love 3-run shots.
I do too. They do change the game.
1-2 now to Norris.
We see the location of the pitch, and it's inside. He's worked his fastball in, and then you see the barrel of the bat, and he crushes this ball. Now, when you're speaking about confidence, you're seeing a lot of it from Jed Jerko, and why not? He's made some great adjustments, feels comfortable. And when you break down all the mechanics, that's great, but he's staying in the strike zone a lot more than he did the first half.
Now up to 49 runs batted in. And that ball driven deep to left field. Dickerson goes back and can't get it. And on his way to yet another double is Derek Norris, his 30th of the season. And his 10 against Colorado this year.
Well, second time around for these Padre hitters against Russin. The first time was in Colorado where he threw the complete game. You talk about the leg down, Mark Sweeney. The hands are back, locked and loaded.
It's really nice by Derek Norris. That's 12 extra base hits in 34 ball games. And Russin is missing location. When you miss location at this level, you have to capitalize, and the Padres are doing that much more these days offensively. They're making great adjustments from at bat to at bat. Their second at bats, third at bats, they've been much better as the games have gone along.
Christian Bergman, the right-hander, starts throwing as Steve Foster, the pitching coach, goes out to say something to Russin. In the inning, Solardi a single off the glove of third baseman Arenado. Kemp a line single after Upton struck out the 3-run homer Jerko. And now Norris with a 1-out double.
How about Norris? Yo, bartender, give me another double. He's had so many doubles. I'm surprised he's still on his feet.
Well, he can handle his doubles.
He's asking Ted Lang for another double, right?
What was his name, the bartender? Oh, we can look that up.
Google it.
Melvin Upton, he doubled to right field his only at bat. And he rips one to left, and Dickerson starts in, and it's over his head. That'll get Norris around third. He comes in to score, and Upton to second for another double. And the Padres take a 6-2 lead. Oh, 2 home runs, 3 doubles. And the Padres in the attacking mood and mode tonight.
Well, Corey Dickerson just coming off the disabled list. He does not read this off the bat. I don't think it really mattered, but his first step indicates him not seeing the ball off the bat. He comes in a couple steps, and then that is a lonely feeling as an outfielder. This is way over his head. What a great swing by Melvin Upton Jr.
Hey, Isaac the bartender is busy behind that bar.
Nice.
The 5th hit of the inning. 4 runs have scored in a 6-2 lead. A big crooked number up there for the Padres in the bottom of the 3rd. Spangenberg hit by a pitch his first time. A run in the first, a run in the second, 4 now in the 3rd for San Diego. And a 6-2 advantage.
The Padre bats getting hot early, and James Shields throwing up zeros for 2 innings after that 2 spot. That's a nice little formula working early on.
Checks his swing, 2-1. A reminder, tomorrow, while it's an empty date on your Padres schedule, that's the makeup game for the rainout a couple of months ago. Game time is 12:40. We'll be on there at noon here on Fox Sports San Diego.
There was a rain out here?
Hard to believe, isn't it? And, with all of this humidity and the big thunderheads, I'm sure in the county there's been some rain today. Three and 1 to Spangenberg. So Russin, coming off a complete game win against the Giants, roughed up today. Only 6 hits he allowed in a 11-3 win against San Francisco last time out. Foul back toward us. Watch out.
Come on, Dana, you got to have that.
The cameraman.
Yeah.
Dana,
Let's go.
are you trying?
You're embarrassing the ball club.
Boo.
That is unbelievable.
Are you trying?
Come on.
If it was a puck, you would have caught it. Oh, Dana, a resident hockey lover.
Yeah.
3 and 2. Smothered up the first base side. It's going to be a close play here at first base, and out. Boy, nice job by Morneau to flip that ball to the pitcher. That took perfect timing for Russin to beat Spangenberg to the bag.
Everything's got to work perfectly there, huh, Mark Sweeney?
Well, you see Morneau with the glove work. As you said, Dick, very nice and athletic play. If you're that pitcher, you got to show your glove and lead him in that direction. That's pitcher's fielding practice at its best.
8th man to bat in the inning. Pitcher Shields, credited with an RBI the last time, walked with the bases loaded. He's got a man at third and a chance to add to the 6-2 lead. Misses away. 2-0. He hasn't thrown Shields a strike yet. That's 6 straight balls.
He looks hitterish, doesn't he?
He always has been.
Open stance. I like the swing. At times he gets a little bit long, but I like it.
Let the big dog eat.
You have to.
That's a strike. 2-1.
Come out of your shoes. Swing hard. You just might square it up.
70th pitch coming up, and only 8 outs for Russin.
Cash wanted a 20-second timeout, taking that 2-0 pitch.
Ground ball to Arenado. You don't want to hit it to him. And across for the final out. But the Padres post a big 4 on the board here in the 3rd. Jed Jerko gets 3 of them on this long drive off the Western Metal Supply Company building. A brickbuster for Jerko.
Paulson, left-handed hitter, ball slicing. Guys, how far does he have to go to snatch it? 85 feet. That's what speed will do for you.
Yeah, the first step is very impressive by Jankowski, and he has roamed Petco Park very nicely in center field.
That's in a post pattern for 24 yards.
Yeah.
Thought it on the fly there. That's good for 6. Hey, good luck to the Chargers. Their opener against the Lions on Sunday. Jed Jerko. His bat coming alive here in the second half of the season. Now with 14 homers and 49 runs batted in. DJ LeMahieu singled in a run in the first inning. Dickerson and Garneau to follow. Padres now in front by 4. We talked, Mark Grant, about giving Shields some run support because he's number 6 in the National League, 5.2 runs a game on the season. They've got him 6 already.
And after 4 in that bottom half of the 3rd, throw up a goose egg, a bagel, very quickly here in the 4th.
2-0.
And you see James Shields, too. When you get him run support, he can pick and choose his battles within a lineup. I think it's very important to do that, too, as well. And knowing that you don't have to attack every single hitter the same way.
And sometimes it's, you walk a guy with the intention of doing just that, not giving him much to hit. You're exactly right. To get to that next guy who you feel, I can get this guy if I make my pitch.
LeMahieu, Gold Glove winner last year, has improved with the bat each season. Cubs let him go. He was picked in the 2nd round by Chicago out of LSU back in 2009. Traded to the Rockies with Tyler Colvin for Ian Stewart. That didn't work out very well for the Cubs. And LeMahieu didn't think that was a strike. Looked inside And he's gone. Number 5 for Shields. Let's take a look at it.
Well, it looked like a cutter, a slider. And I think it was really Derek Norris that stuck that pitch and sold it very nicely.
Read his lips. That's inside. Corey Dickerson, line to right his first time.
Okay, I'm going to get in an argument with my good hitting buddy here, Mark Sweeney.
An argument?
Yeah.
This should be fun.
Just a little discussion. You know, hitters, if they don't like a call, they'll say something to the umpire. They'll look at him.
Yep.
They're like coaches. Oh, okay. What does the umpire do?
He basically calls the next strike.
Oh, and you know what? If a pitcher ever did that,
Pitchers don't do that?
Yeah, but they get run. What I'm saying is hitters have way more leeway than pitchers do. You guys get away with all the antics and all the theatrics.
Well, there's a way of doing
that
it,
that ball's inside. How can you call that? If a pitcher does that,
I feel like you're yelling at me.
I
But
am
here's the
yelling
thing:
at you.
it's space. There's space in between. They don't like to be embarrassed. If you do it correctly, you look down, you say that's not a.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I think you're right, though.
Guys will square up. Guys will square up to the umpires.
I agree with
you guys are cute when you fight together.
I'm not fighting.
I'm not agreeing with you.
That the pitchers, they just look cross-eyed at the umpire, and the umpire points out at him. You just mind your business.
Because they don't like getting embarrassed. They don't. Hang with them. I mean, why are you backing pitchers all the time? It's embarrassing.
Ball 4, and Dickerson with a 1-out walk. The second free ticket from Shields brings up Dustin Garneau.
It's great baseball discussion, isn't it?
I do. I like it.
Did you ever get tossed?
I got tossed once because I got picked off at first. I was mad at myself, and I swiped the dirt. Well, while he was punching me out, the first base umpire, the dirt ended up hitting him because I was mad. And I got tossed.
You kicked sand in his face.
A little puff of dirt?
Yeah, I didn't even say anything. Just didn't like the dirt in his face. Not a good choice by me.
Garneau struck out swinging the first time, and that's in there.
How much did that cost you? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It's like 500,
yeah,
isn't it?
I
Get
think
ejected?
that. Yeah, I think that. But honestly, I only had one at bat a game. Why would you get tossed?
That's right. You were out of there anyway.
I mean, seriously.
I guess on the scale of embarrassment in this game, being picked off is right up there near the top.
Oh, yeah.
Good breaking ball off speed.
I've had plenty of embarrassing moments.
Here comes the 7:30, and from Tulsa. You know what I think would be embarrassing? That runner on second base where the ground ball, you don't beat it, and you get thrown out at third. That's kind of embarrassing.
Do you think they're coming in from Tulsa or they're going to Tulsa?
Does it matter?
That one might be on its way to Tulsa. A long drive off the bat, and it is gone. Dustin Garneau hits his first major league home run, and that cuts the lead to 6-4. They'll try to get that ball back to Garneau as he's gone deep for the first time in the big leagues, and for Shields' 29th home run that he has offered.
Well, what hurts about this one, it's an 0-2 hanging curveball right down the heart of the plate and speeds up the bat of Garneau. Look at the reaction of James. He knew exactly when that was out of his hand in the swing from Garneau. It was an 0-2 mistake.
It's quite apparent the ball is flying in this hot night in San Diego. Third home run. And it's a different looking ball game now in the fourth, 6-4. Kyle Parker is the pinch hitter. That'll be all for Chris Russin. He manages only 3 innings tonight after going the complete 9-game shutout up in Denver. Fly ball to right. Kemp back a few and then up right in the position he started for the second out. Kyle Parker gone. Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon.
I think James was upset about that breaking ball as well. The location of it, he got away with it. Fly ball to right field, but you have to locate that. He's been busting out the slow breaking ball tonight. But you can see is very animated on the mound. But watch the location of this curveball right over the middle of the plate and just slicing the bottom part of that baseball.
You know, that's a good point, Mark, because some fans might be watching and say, well, he just got a fly ball. Why is James Shields or why is that pitcher so upset? That's how particular, and that's how pitchers, they want to hit their spots. And they know they got away with a nice change up there.
Well, if you think about it, being animated on the mound, too, and it's part motivation. We saw that in Jake Peavy, the ex-Padre. Well, James Shields is very similar.
Blackmon reached safely on Shields' error. That started the ball game and started a 2-run first inning. Struck out swinging in the second. Fastball inside, 1-1. That rolls foul.
That's sweet salad, huh?
Count stays at 1-2. Second pitch coming up from Shields. Who just misses inside. 2-2 to Blackmon.
Trying to bring that two-seamer back, it looks like.
I thought it came back. See the location of this, the two-seamer, and catching that inside corner just off the plate. See if he goes back to that changeup.
And given 2 runs or less, he's got an excellent ERA. 3 to 5 runs, it goes up, and when he's given 6 runs, even more so, and that's happening again tonight. Jerko can't get him, and a good job by Myers to be able to keep that ball out of the dugout on the errant throw.
Yeah, really didn't need to throw that ball for Jed Jerko going to his left and making a nice diving play. But Blackmon, with his speed, didn't have to put that in your pocket.
Beware of Blackmon, 3rd in the league in stolen bases. Good job by Myers. That ball takes a hop into the dugout or up in the stands, and Blackman's on second base. Jose Reyes has walked and scored and struck out the last time. This is Petco Park, but a Coors Field breakout tonight. 6-4, and we're only in the top of the 4th inning. These are the games you expect up in Mile High Denver.
Well, this will be the 75th pitch for James Shields.
Line to right field. Kemp right there. And the inning comes to an end on a line out to the right fielder. 2 more on the home run by Garneau. It's a 2-run game. The game. It's at the other end of Jerko's 3-run homer. The fans that came up with the baseball. Congratulations. That guy's got quite a harem, doesn't he?
The guy that got the ball doesn't look like he's too happy.
I think he's playing it cool. Too cool for school. Good for him.
New pitcher, Christian Bergman for the Rockies. Takes over in the 4th inning. He'll face the top of the order. Will Myers, Jan Solarte, and Matt Kemp.
So here we go now with Russin only going 3 innings, giving up 6. The turnstile out in that Colorado Rocky bullpen could be very busy tonight for
So
Walt
you're
Weiss.
saying he has some choices?
He has a lot of choices.
And our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Christian Bergman.
They have 14 pitchers in the bullpen, the Rockies.
How about those splits? The righties 339 with 6 bombs.
Fastball, changeup, slider, curveball.
Myers has grounded out and grounded into a double play with the bases loaded in the 2nd.
Got to get at least 1 back, don't you think? 1 run back after that inning, that last half.
Padres with 8 hits off the starter Russin, 2 of them home runs. Solo shot. Matt Kemp, number 20, and the 3-run home run from Jerko, his 14th. And 3-1.
Everything away to Will Myers, so set your sights out there and react in.
Line drive, base hit. So Myers joins the hit parade. That means only Upton and Spanchenberg in the lineup without a hit.
Well, what a beautiful swing by Will Myers. In the 6th last night, he hit the home run. But if you take a look at his swing here, you're watching for health. It's the hinge wrist, that bottom wrist. And he is directly to the baseball, head down on the baseball, and the length through. That's what you see by Will Myers. And yes, smile, because his wrist is healthy, and he's starting to get that timing down.
He hits the baseball a lot like a tennis player from low to high, doesn't he? He's more of an uppercut than other players.
Exactly right, because when he's short to the baseball, he's not long to the baseball. He gets length through, and that's what you really see, and it's loud off of his bat.
Solarte batting left-handed. Came up with an infield hit right-handed to extend his batting streak to 10 straight games.
Okay, we're going to learn something here from Mark Sweeney. When you say long through the zone, here's what I envision that as. Barrel of the bat, rather than a loop like this, the barrel of the bat stays through the zone this way.
Yes.
Longer, and then bam.
Well,
it's
what
like
happens
a
Tennis,
tennis
the backhand. That's the backhand.
When you get longer.
And this is going to be a 4-6-3 double play.
Guys, when you get longer, what happens is those wrists break. The wrist will break early in the count. I mean, when you get ready to hit, they break early this way, and it's a sweeping motion, and it's usually short through the baseball.
Right.
When you are direct to the baseball here, you see this happen, and then length through it, and he releases his hinge wrist, that bottom hand. They're trying to get him to use 2 hands to protect that, but it's not natural for him. And that's something he's going to have to work on in the offseason and make sure he feels comfortable with. But yeah, he is very comfortable now. You saw the home run swing last night on the changeup, and then the line drive swing tonight. You want to see those signs as he takes a look at his wrist down there. It's a constant concern, and it's a worry in his mind.
Kemp with a home run, his 20th, a solo to right center, and a line single to left, and he scored 2 runs. Some conversation with Mark Kotze from Will Myers about that wrist. Hopefully there's no damage done on that last play.
I would say this too with Will Myers. I don't think you're concerned about the contact. You're concerned about swing and miss, because the swing and miss really mechanically at times is not very good. you're out front or something. You're always worried about that odd swing.
3-0 green light, and Kemp can't find that fastball.
They need to keep him healthy. He needs to have a very important offseason to get stronger. And hopefully he can protect that wrist with a two-hand release.
Full count to Kemp.
A two-hand finish, if you want to call it.
There's some concern about that wrist. He is flexing it and talking to Kotze about it. Get Chris Budden on the case. Let's Paul Navarro, the trainer, talking to him.
You know, Mark, especially getting fooled on an off-speed pitch where it changes. So you're reaching for it, and then you're extending.
That really is the concern, and he wants to be in there. And the guy loves to play the game of baseball. But it has to be frustrations of just the feeling in your wrist. And when you take too many swings to get ready.
Kemp hits a high fly ball to center. Blackman eases back on it. And that's it for the 4th inning for the Padres. It's 6-4. San Diego after 4. Cancer research. We hope you'll be involved. There's so many hospitals here in San Diego, not only caring for patients, inpatients and out, but the research that's being done is incredibly exciting and so advanced from what we might have talked about 20 years ago. And we introduce to you now Bianca Kennedy, a cancer survivor, and Dr. Jeffrey Wall. Dr. Wall has been working the battle against cancer, 40 years now?
40 years, yeah.
And you then have seen the progress, and I think that's what in our conversation here, that if we can help the fans to understand that it isn't the way it was 25, 30 years ago. There is hope.
Oh, there's an incredible amount of hope. In the booth tonight, we had kids who were being treated at Rady Children's Hospital. Ernest Rady was in the booth next to us. He came and saw them. And, you know, some of these kids 25 years ago wouldn't have had a chance. And now they're being treated, and many of them will be cured. It's remarkable.
And your own story, Bianca.
Yes, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Please
Thank
do.
you, Dick.
Yeah.
When I was 35 years old, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and this was in 2001. At that time, my sister had already been diagnosed twice. I went through the bilateral mastectomies, chemo, and other therapies, and did well as a survivor after that. In my road as a survivor, I became involved in advocacy. I found that it was an amazing experience to help others getting through it after I had been through it. So I did that. I worked with several different breast cancer organizations. And through those organizations, I ended up working with the DOD for the Congressionally Directed Medical Research Program. And that is where I met this incredible scientist, Jeff Wall, at a conference, a breast cancer conference in Orlando, Florida. He then invited me to see the Salk so I could tour it, and he didn't even realize at the time, because we were in Florida, that I lived in San Diego, not too far from him. So we were very excited to find out that we lived nearby. I toured the Salk, loved it. It's an amazing energy. The science being done there is phenomenal. They graciously welcomed me to be part of their lab team as an advocate, and I go to the weekly lab meetings. I get to witness the science going on there, and in turn I try to help convey the things I learned to the breast cancer community.
And you're also involved in some of the genetic basis for cancer. Is that correct, Doctor?
That's right. So cancer is a genetic disease. And in talking with Bianca, it was clear that she was diagnosed at a young age. Her sister was diagnosed at a young age. Her sister had multiple recurrences. Those are kind of signs that maybe they've inherited a gene that could predispose them to this. And I asked her about that, and she said, yes, she had been tested. And
is that the BRCA, what they call the BRCA gene?
There are two, BRCA1, BRCA2, are the common ones that give rise to predisposition for breast cancer. She had been tested and she didn't have either of those. Oh. That doesn't mean that there couldn't be another one that we didn't know about. And as we got to know each other, she actually had a recurrence while she was with the lab. And fortunately, my wife is a breast oncologist and was able to help her. So it became kind of a family affair. And we all became convinced that we should be sequencing Bianca's DNA. So I wrote grants. They weren't funded. But finally, Pedal the Cause came about. And it was through that bike ride that I wrote a grant. It was funded. And within 5 months, Bianca's DNA had been sequenced, whereas for 3 years before that, we hadn't. Her sister and her mother.
Yes, my sister, and my sister's a 4-time survivor. So, and myself 2 times, so 6 times between the two of us. So we feel like there was something suspect going on there that just hasn't been discovered yet. So we're hopeful with this very generous grant from Pedal the Cause, one which we're so especially pleased about because it's high risk in nature. We're hopeful that we're going to find something that will help others.
So sad, and I can relate to this personally because I've lost my brother and my sister, both younger.
Yep.
I lost my daughter this past year.
Sorry
my father died of cancer. So I did the testing. That's Arenado with a base hit to center field. And I have the BRCA, I think it's 1. So, we're just unlucky. We've inherited genetically the risk of having cancer much higher than maybe someone who doesn't have that gene.
But fortunately, you've found it out so that this knowledge is power. You can now be screened. They will be testing you routinely. And people are trying very hard to look for drugs that take advantage of that genetic alteration that you have, that should you ever develop a cancer, that this drug will work specifically on that cancer. So there are some women who are now being treated with an inhibitor. Let me just comment.
Can I interrupt? My concern isn't for me anymore. I've
Sure.
had a great life. My concern is for
your
my children, my
children.
grandchildren,
Exactly
that they're aware that it can be passed along.
That's exactly right. And that's what they need to know about. So that if your granddaughter, for example, were to find that she had a BRCA1 mutation, they would be looking at her very carefully because then they could detect it earlier, and early detection is one of the secrets for better cures.
So instead of bad news, it's an alarm that now you have some knowledge, there might be something, so you monitor your examinations and know that you should be tested.
Absolutely. I
Knowledge is
consider
power.
that almost a gift. Who would think testing BRCA1 positive would be a gift? But in a sense it is, because you have the gift of foresight or to see a road ahead of you that you might be able to avoid. So it's absolutely, there are things you can do to preempt getting a cancer diagnosis if you happen to test positive for BRCA1.
And
So
go ahead, please.
I just wanted to make a comment that we have a unique community in San Diego in that there are 3 NCI-designated cancer centers within a mile of one another. The cures to cancer will come through research and then implementation. We have the Salk Institute, which was the first NCI-designated cancer center in San Diego. We have the Moores Cancer Center, which not only does research but treats people, and we have the Burnham Cancer Center. And, of course, we have Rady Children's Hospital. All of these are working together for the first time collaboratively in order to enable the researchers to combine with the doctors to get the treatments to the patients as fast as possible. Bianca's sequencing never would have happened the way that it did had we not had Pedal the Cause, had the money that was raised not 100% of the net proceeds be dedicated to competitively reviewed research sticking in this county. So I think it's unique. It's fast. It gets it to the people who need it, and it's doing good for everybody.
Yeah, that's
great
wonderful.
news. Wonderful. Many types of funding require a lot more hoops and bureaucracy. So it's amazing when Pedal the Cause can come along and help fund something and have such a quick result. I
visited the laboratory at Moore's
yes.
clinic there. They call it the Liquid Research Laboratory.
That's right.
And so that's one of the many advances that now we can maybe take a blood test or urine test and be able to detect and get some kind of a pre-warning.
But my wife likes to say, imagine if we had a cholesterol test for cancer, right? I mean, you go in, you test your cholesterol, it tells whether you're at risk for having a heart problem. Not only does it tell you that, double play, great play.
We're not gonna chase you off now. We'll say goodbye on the other side of the inning. A double play ends it after the walk. The Padres still lead 6-4. We hope you'll be inspired by this information to dig down. Cancer doesn't avoid families. Everyone is touched by this disease, and we have a chance to help those that are really. I mean, this is like a team driving for a touchdown, and let's give them the ball. Let them get in the end zone. We'll be right back at 6-4 after the top of the fifth inning. So the Padres here, bottom of the fifth inning with a 6-4 lead, and Justin Upton leading off. And as we say goodbye to Bianca Kennedy and congratulate her, the cancer survivor, and Dr. Jeffrey Wall from Salk Institute, will give you a chance for a final farewell.
First, I wanted to thank you very much for your comments, and you said something that very deeply affected me. 100% of the people in this country will have a cancer experience. If not themselves, they will know somebody. 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women in their lifetime. We can all be part of the cures through supporting research such as done by Pedal the Cause.
And I see you're all attired for the ride on Saturday and Sunday, and all part of raising money.
September 26th. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit later.
Yeah, 26th and 27th.
Okay, all right. But this weekend, of course, we have our telethon, and you'll be watching. And I have a feeling our community is going to stand up very proudly in full support. We need to give you your resources to continue your great work.
Thank you.
Thank you for visiting in with us.
Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate this.
All right. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it's a wonderful time in our world, our society, that we have so many powerful brains that are working against an enemy that we all thought could never be beaten, and we've made tremendous progress already. Shift on to Upton, who has struck out and grounded sharply to short tonight. Padres with a run in the first, Kemp's home run, another run in the second on a bases loaded walk. James Shields, the pitcher, getting an RBI, and then 3 on Jerko's home run in the third, and another on Melvin Upton's double.
You know, I can sit and listen to that doctor all day. Just the
you can see that with the passion, the inspiration. I mean, they know, they're close.
Right.
Don't forget.
We are lucky to have people like that in our lives.
Oh. And there's a high, deep fly ball to left field, but Dickerson in front of the path makes the catch.
Well, the Pedal the Cause radio telethon. It starts at 2 p.m. on the social hour with Jesse Agler. It's 5:30 Padres live pregame show. It's going to be an all-day thing up to the end of the game, and you can donate by calling 1-844. This is the day of the event, ladies and gentlemen. 1-844-PEDAL-SD. And right now, you can text PEDAL to 41444 right now through the telethon and donate. So tell some friends to donate to the cause. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be part of it here in San Diego. And, of course, we're going to be on the road in San Francisco. So we're going to be giving you updates during the game and keep everybody posted.
Yeah. And it's a tax-deductible, of course, contribution. And we have some very special guests that are going to be there Saturday with Jesse. And I think that we'll have folks that will want to donate in the name of somebody that has survived cancer or perhaps didn't. And or a friend or neighbor, and it's going to be a big day Saturday. We're all going to be pulling together. We're all going to be on the same end of the rope on Saturday.
And remember, all the donations that particular day is going to go straight to the research for that. So know in your heart that whether it's $1, whether it's $1,000, hey, you know what? If you feel like you can give more, you're fortunate enough to give more. All that money is going to go to the research.
This is. It's terrific that the Padres are fully behind this, and Fox Sports San Diego to help the cause, beat cancer. And we're not going to accomplish that by sitting back and letting somebody else do it. We got to all ante up. All right, back to baseball. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Jerko, last time up, 3-run homer off the Western Metal Supply bricks, and he whistles that one over the head of Arenado into the left field corner, and Jerko continues his hot hitting. He motors into second with a double.
Well, just looking so comfortable up at the plate. Mark Sweeney mentioned it earlier when he was on with us, swinging at strikes and letting the balls go by. Boy, it sounds so simple, but this two-seamer down and in, squaring it up nicely. Some serious top hand on that one.
The 4th double tonight, a couple of home runs, and with one out, the Padres a chance to add to their 6-4 lead. Norris, a single and a double, has scored twice. Something about those purple uniforms that inspires Norris. 10 doubles against Colorado this season. Into the right field corner toward the Petco porch, but Gonzalez does have a play at the edge of the path. Tagging and going to third is Jerko. 2 out, and it's up to Melvin Upton. Upton a pair of doubles tonight and an RBI.
When we talk about hitters getting into a position to let it fly, well, on the left is the home run. Watch the front foot as he lifts it. It's planted, hands are back, locked and loaded. The power from the stiff front leg generating power up to the top and the barrel, and then the double on the right side, same type swing. Out in front, solid, hands are back and letting it rip. And swinging at strikes.
Well, that went off the head of the bat right to the first baseman Morneau, and covering is Bergman for the out, and the inning comes to an end as Jerko is stranded at third.
had unique high school jobs growing up. Andrew Kashner worked for the Kashner Funeral Family Home and helped his dad there. And you have guys like Colin Ray, who helped on the family farm. Well, I was talking to James Shields about what he did growing up. A couple interesting jobs. He worked the parking lot at the Rose Bowl, and then for a few months was the manager at Bed Bath & Beyond. So kind of an interesting side to some of these guys before they started making their millions.
A man who knows his pillows and sheets.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Where's the 500 count bed sheets? That's, you know what? That's a good thing. You know.
Yeah. Hey, the experiences that build us to the eventual maturity are keen and key.
What was
way out in front is LeMahieu.
What was your first job other than like
well, picking apples and working the
media
farm?
and stuff
yeah.
like that? Really?
My first real job was paving parking lots and doing road work, Michigan road work, asphalt.
Come on.
Yeah.
In the summer?
In the summer. Line drive, and Jerko able to reach out and pick it off the bat of LeMahieu. But my most interesting job was on the assembly line in Hamtramck, Michigan, hanging front bumpers on 1955 Dodges. You ever seen a 55 Dodge, the bumper on
Weighs
that
about
baby?
a ton, doesn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's about as big as that ocean liner we saw at Cleveland earlier. And I'm about as unmechanical as any person God ever created. And so I created havoc because that assembly line keeps going, you know.
Yeah,
and I kept dropping the nuts and bolts and the chassis and trying to get the thing in there. And man, first time I ever heard a woman swear. I mean, really big time swear. Because I was invading her area, and so I was slowing her work down. Boy, was I glad to get back to college. Dickerson lined out and walked and scored.
Nice changeup right there by James. Remember the home run earlier? It was a breaking ball. It was a curveball. Speeding up the bat of Garneau. It's left over the heart of the plate, and James Shields knew exactly when that ball was struck that it was trouble. So let's see how he counters this time around. And if he throws a breaking ball, if he's going to bounce it. There's a changeup again.
Process of doing our interview, unable to keep scores. So I'm behind a man, but now caught up with Garneau. One out. Yeah, a little high heat, and Garneau takes a walk. 6th strikeout for Shields tonight. He started the game with 188.
Oh, some baseball's coming right back at James Shields. Started the game. That's an E1. Couldn't make the play. And as you look at James Shields, sure, he kind of falls off at times a little bit, but not in the worst fielding position. He's okay a lot of times. That one, it just happened to scoot by him, hit sharply, trying to make the skate save into center field for a base hit.
Pinch hitter is Christian Adames. Adames, switch hitter. Called up September 1st, has just 11 at bats, but 5 hits. He makes solid contact, but foul. Speed with his 99th delivery of the game. 2 outs here in the 6th. Two and one. Good pitching matchup tomorrow, 12:40 game, noon our TV time on Fox Sports San Diego. Tyson Ross on the mound, looks for his 11th win. Jorge De La Rosa seeks his 10th win for the Rockies. He's their winningest pitcher, 9-6, the veteran lefty. 3 balls and a strike to the pinch hitter Adames. Line drive, left field, up and can't quite come up with it on the shoestring. Able to keep the ball in front of him, and Adames with a 2-out single.
Join the many Han Solos, Darth Vaders, Chewbacca's, Stormtroopers as they invade Petco Park on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, September 26th for the Star Wars Day. Come to the game, get dressed in your best Star Wars costume, purchase a special Star Wars ticket package, and get a custom themed t-shirt. It's going to be a great day at the ball yard. Only available for the first 2,000 fans with a Star Wars Day ticket. Get tickets today at Padres.com/Star Wars.
What outfit are you going to wear? What would you like to wear?
CP3O or C3PO, whatever it is.
Is that the little robot?
It's the little guy.
Yeah, I'd like. Yeah.
Oh, Chewbacca's pretty cool. He doesn't talk, so he can't get into trouble.
Han Solo, wasn't Solo in that deal?
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you want to be him?
Harrison Ford.
There's what Harrison Ford. I'll take Harrison Ford.
Yeah. And then Luke Skywalker was Mark Hamill, wasn't it?
I believe you're right.
Luke Skywalker's a cool name, though. And then, of course, Carrie Fisher with the cinnamon buns on each side of her head. With the hairdo.
Good salad, huh?
Couple of bear claws, please.
And 3-0 now to Blackman. Padres had the 6-2 lead. The 2-run homer by Garneau cut it to 6-4. And this is a dangerous lineup. Blackman has 15 homers.
Guy looks like he's a Charlie Blackman fan.
A 4-pitch walk to Blackman. So the tying run on here in the 6th inning. A single and a walk with 2 away, and that brings up Jose Reyes. 4th walk from Shields.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Reyes walked in the 1st inning and scored. Struck out and lined out. Here comes Pat Murphy. And with a tying run on, a go-ahead score, a left-handed hitter at the plate. Murphy apparently is going to make a pitching change and go to a southpaw. Let's wait till he gives a signal. None yet. Shields campaigning perhaps to stay in the game, get the final out, and he wins the battle. It's a matter of the manager wanting to make sure that his pitcher is in belief that he's got enough left to get the final out.
Hey, and I like that. And when you sign a guy like James Shields, he should be able to get out of an inning like this, and you give the ball, you keep the ball in his hand, because he's that type of guy. He's that type of pitcher. Next pitch will be his 107th.
And you see what happens. True of any pitcher. The longer you go, the more tired, legs, arm, more likely to give up hits.
Well, a lot of the pitches tonight from James have been to the lefties when he's missing down and away or up and away. Just not getting that release point out there just enough to make it a good quality pitch.
Carlos Gonzalez and Nolan Arenado, the home run threats to follow Reyes. That's in there, 1-1.
Oh, you can see a little hip hop in his step right about now in the mouth of James Shields. He's going to reach back and try to get that last out.
Cargo with a career high 36 home runs. 1-2. The Rockies lead the National League, scoring runs with 2 out. Here they are again. with a chance. Arenado in the hole.
Okay, let's get on the same page. Runner on second base, very crucial. Hey, take the time to go talk to your pitcher. Derek Norris so good at doing that.
This is the man you want to get out of the inning. Guy on deck has hit since July 22nd 10 more homers than any other National League player. 23 total. Cargo. 1-2. Up high. The 111th pitch from Shields. He pops him up. Third baseman Solarte calling off catcher Norris, and the inning comes to an end on an innocent pop fly. 2 are left for Colorado. Padres still lead by 2. With his 20th home run, that cut the Colorado lead to 2-1. Then Jed Jerko with the score-tied 2 hit. It's a 3-run shot into the bricks of the Western Metal Supply Company building. And the Padres would make it 6-2 on Melvin Upton's double over Dickerson's head. Back comes Dustin Garneau, his first major league home run. And that cut the Padre lead to 6-4. A home run in the 4th inning for Garneau. Our Harrah's game summary. The new pitcher is Simon Castro.
Well, as we mentioned, the first game of the series, with all the arms out there, Walt Weiss, the manager for the Rockies, is going to showcase those arms and those relievers that don't have a lot of big league time. They want to see what they're made of and what they can do at the big league level.
Padres have had a lot of opportunities to add on to that 6-4 lead, and it can be disturbing that you don't take advantage, and the Rockies have stayed close. Spangenberg hit by a pitch, and a good play made on a slow roller up to first baseman Morneau. Made a glove flip to his pitcher to get Spangenberg flying up the line. And he lines that one to right field. A solid single. Gonzalez up with it, and Spangenberg grounds and holds.
Now it's time to tweet your strongest fan photo. You got to use the hashtag. Come on, you know the routine. Hashtag SDDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by our good friends at T-Mobile.
Well, Alex Dickerson gets a chance to swing the bat. Dickerson called up from the minor leagues at the September 1st expansion of the rosters, but he's had a mild hip problem, so he's not been able to contribute. So here's a chance. Good year at El Paso, 307 with a dozen home runs. Kid from Poway comes out swinging. He is 1 for 2. He was up earlier, remember, in the season. El Paso, by the way, in the Pacific Coast League playoffs. And we'll play Fresno, the Cubs AAA team, beginning tomorrow night. The Northwest League team, that's the rookies, the kids that were drafted in the June draft, Tri-City. They have already advanced to the championship game. They beat Everett last night 4-2. They'll play either Hillsborough or Salem for the championship of the Northwest League. That's out of play. Six runs, 11 hits for San Diego. 4 runs, 8 hits for Colorado. Spangenberg at first with a leadoff single. So everyone in the lineup except Upton of the regulars with a base hit. Justin Upton. Brother Melvin has a couple of doubles. Two balls, 2 strikes to Dickerson. All-America player at Indiana University. That's falling in a hurry in center field. Blackman coming in, can't get there. And reading it well is Spangenberg. He goes all the way to third. Great base running by Spangenberg. He saw that ball was going to fall in front of Blackman and didn't hesitate. Makes it all the way to third on that shallow fly ball single. Dickerson in the books.
Yeah, that's great base running. That's getting into a position to where if the ball is going to be caught, you retreat back. But with the speed of Spangenberg, he realizes that everybody is converging. Blackman can't get to it. He's in center field, so he puts on the afterburners. Okay, gotta wait. Now let's check the outfielders. They're not going to get to it. By the time that ball drops, he's well around second base, heads up. Speed last night, speed tonight.
Well, he's fun to watch.
Yes, he is.
Well, Dickerson comes out, and pinch running for him is Colin Ray. He didn't get the win last night, but should have. 7 innings, a shutout ball, only 2 hits. So Ray gets some work as a pinch runner. Leadoff man Will Myers takes ball 1. So Ray has taken Kastner's job as the pitcher pitch runner.
Yeah.
Myers singled the last time. He's hit into a double play and grounded to short. And the Padres with a chance here, first and third, no one out, to add on. Bud Norris will be next. Shields going 6 tonight. 1-2 now to Myers.
A good slider right there by Castro.
In the dirt. Good dig there by Garneau. Singles by Spangenberg and Dickerson to open the 6th inning. No one out. Roller to third. Arenado charges. Bare hand. The throw. Not in time. Run scores. It's 7-4. A swinging bunt single for Will Myers. Padres showing their speed with Spangenberg, and then Myers legging out. Hits and advance bases.
And thanks to Corey Spangenberg for that speed, going first to third on that little dunker in the shallow left center field, resulting in a run and an RBI for Will Myers.
And get some love from Dave Roberts, who's keen eye on base running, and he's already talking about the set and that maybe there was an opportunity for Spangenberg for a stolen base. Teaching him there may be another. Remember Castro, and you might be on first again with the right-hander on the mound. So first and second, Myers with the RBI, is 21st. Solarte fouls it back. Extended his hitting streak to 10 games in a row with a single back in the third. And in case you're just joining us, Matt Kemp with a couple of hits, including a home run, now has reached safely 29 consecutive games. He's on deck. One and one. And our game tonight is always presented in brilliant HD by Sony. Every shot. Just clarity is so beautiful. 2-1. Well, the Padres will close out the homestand tomorrow. Final of 4 with Colorado. Get on the charter flight, the short trip up to San Francisco for games Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some good ones. We hope they'll join us. That misses. 3-1. Still no one out. 3 consecutive base hits for the Padres. Spangenberg, Dickerson, the pinch hitter, and Will Myers. 2 of them scratch hits, but they all look like line drives in the box score tomorrow. Way out in front. 3-2.
Play a little slider. Good tilt to it.
Kemp with a home run, a single, and a long out to center. Solarte bounced into a double play the last time. Shot to and under the glove of LeMahieu. Here comes another run as the pinch runner Ray scores, and it's 8-4. Well, for a moment it looked as if he might have made a mistake not sliding, but he was able to get that final bounce stride on home plate for another run.
And I'll be quite honest with you, as this ball scoots by LeMahieu, Ray gets the green light, and with the arm of Carlos Gonzalez, you know he's going to be on target. Just up the first base line a little bit. It's nice to see the Padres add on. Good swing by Jan Hervis.
I thought LeMahieu might get that ball, but it was hit so hard it shot right by his diving stab. So first and third, still no one out. 4 straight singles and 2 more runs for the Padres. They're breaking the action. San Diego leads it 8-4. play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com and see how much you could save. The Padres, with 4 consecutive singles here in the 6th inning, no one out, have scored 2 more and lead 8-4. And Matt Kemp comes up with runners at first and third. A chance to pick up some more. He's with a home run, 92 RBIs on the year, 3rd most in the National League.
Well, enter right-hander Scott Oberg, 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, changeup, curveball, slider, about 93 to 98. Can get a little wild at times. 24 free passes in 47 plus innings.
Well, that Padre lineup. Myers with 2 hits, Solardi with 2, Kemp with 2, Jerka with a pair, Norris with 2, Melvin Upton with a pair. Total of 14 now in the game. .93 on the fastball. 1-1 to Matt Kemp. His home run to right center, his single to left field. Padres are 10-4 against Colorado on the season, hitting at a .277 pace. Up the middle, out over second base, and LeMahieu wide to play there, back to first, not in time. Boy, was that a terrific play by LeMahieu with a backhand glove flip to Reyes, and they almost turned a spectacular double play. Kemp beats it out as another run scores. It's 9-4. Another RBI for Matt Kemp.
Tremendous play. Great glove work. LeMahieu, the Gold Glover. And then Reyes touches the bag and very, very close to first base. But Mike Winters says safe. Now, sometimes that ball will get caught up in that glove, but nice. Well, it looks like Reyes got the back end of that bag on the force play. Let's see when the ball hits his glove right there. Oh, did he ever touch the bag?
I don't know if he did.
I don't think he touched the bag. And you know what? In a play like that, that's not the neighborhood play because it was a throw that wasn't like right there anchored over the bag. He was moving to the bag and had to make an athletic play. I think the Padres might challenge this.
They are. They're reviewing it. There's a Rays doing a dance around the bag, whether or not either the left or right foot touch the sack is
I got safe at second. Yeah.
I mean, it was an awkward reception for Reyes because LeMahieu just lucky to get out of his glove and make the flip.
Right.
Tough to make the perfect throw from that position. Yeah, they're looking at on the big screen here. Now, is this a... Oh, it's okay. We're getting information now. This isn't the Padres challenge to play at second. It's Weiss challenging the call at first.
So called safe at first. Walt Weiss thinks differently.
That's bang bang.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised they're not reviewing the play at second. Maybe they are. Maybe we don't know about it.
You heard the fans' reaction, but those were Padres fans looking at it with their heart. I mean, it's just that's simultaneous, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
His foot's on the bag just as the ball goes into the glove. Yeah, it looks like he's safe.
Yeah, I got safe too, Dick.
The ball.
It should be safe at second and first.
But the Padres have not challenged the play at second base as far as we know.
Let's see the flip at second. Now watch when.
Right there, does he hit the bag there?
But his glove, his ball's not in the glove yet. The glove's right there. I got safe at second. His foot is not in contact with the bag when that ball touches his glove.
I think at this point, with having time to look at it, Murphy's going to challenge now. He's safe at first. So the run scores. Credit Kemp with his second RBI, 93rd of the year. Now Murphy's got to challenge the call at second base. Or is he? Actually, it's too much time for him to now challenge. I mean, he should have challenged it within 10-15 seconds of the play. As we've been talking about this all year long, that there should be some time limit before a challenge is made. And apparently Murphy's satisfied that it wasn't out at second base or close enough. So 3 runs in the inning for the Padres to open up a 9-4 lead. Kemp at first base. And Justin Upton, the only Padre tonight without a hit. Every position in the lineup with at least one. Even Dickerson hitting 9th with a pinch hit base hit. Still only 1 out.
I need a homer here.
Do you have
to
Upton
try
tonight?
to catch Chris Budden? Yeah, Chris Budden has Jan Solarte tonight.
Ooh, Solarte 2 and a -2, so 2 points for Chris.
So I need Justin to come through big time and go big fly.
What are you, 4 behind her at the start?
I think at the beginning of the night, yes, 4.
So right now she's 6 points ahead. Home run would tie you with her. No, it wouldn't. It would give you the lead because you got a man at first. That'd be another point. 2-1 to Upton.
I know she's shaking in her boots. She knows I'm right there behind. You know.
Have you noticed more of a quiver in her voice?
Striking distance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She tries to play it off, but she's not fooling me.
I have never seen a human being more confident than Chris Budden.
Oh,
she's going to nail you. You know,
it's going to be close.
I know, but you know those Phillies. You know, she gets the weight difference too on this. They can run faster in the stretch.
Hey, Mudd, at what point does It's a Long Season become not a long season anymore? September 29th?
Don't worry about it.
Just curious.
He's so rude, Chris.
Hey, you know what?
It's been a fun battle.
It has
been
been.
Nice.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm all about, I'm all about competition and jabbing, and giving a hard time to everybody involved.
Hey, we're leaving Mike Pomerantz out of the conversation. Who was
that?
his pick tonight? He might have a bunch of runs here. He's close to both of you. Runner goes and ball 4. Upton's aboard. Well, there's 1 point for you.
I'll take it.
So 2 on with 1 out, and Jed Jerko is the batter, and that takes us to our top tier player profile brought to you by Arco. Last 38 games since he came back from El Paso, batting nearly 300, 9 homers, and 31 runs batted in. So whatever he did down in the Pacific Coast League with the Chihuahuas, Jerko came back a different hitter. Got a home run tonight and a double. And that ball is hit well. Left center field. Over is the left fielder Dickerson to make the catch, and the runners hold. So 2 outs, and Derek Norris will step up.
Well, by the sound of the ball off the bat, either off the end of the bat or got in on him. And you see by his reaction that he missed that one. That was a fat pitch.
Jerko was not drafted. He has a 10-point evening. Derek Norris, 5 points tonight. And a chance for more with 2 on, 2 out here in the 6th. All 3 runs charged to Castro. Kemp at second, Upton at first. right to the shortstop. A soft liner, and the inning comes to an end. 8 men bat, 3 of them score. After 6, Padres lead it 9-4. For the Mets again, a home run, and the Mets sweep the series 5-3 against the Nationals. Well, we've heard a lot of moaning and groaning from Washington, D.C. tonight. It's their baseball fans. Here's the National University standings. New York went down to Washington for 3, ahead by 4. The Nationals hoping for a sweep that would put them within 1. It goes the other way, and now the Metropolitans have a 7-game lead. Cardinals 4.5 ahead of Pittsburgh. The Dodgers just cruising along, 8.5 up. And the wild card, Pittsburgh and Chicago in total command there. It appears that's a definite.
Well, I look at these races, and it's going to be a great race down the last couple of weeks, even the last weekend possibly. But I think the battle is going to be bullpens. Which bullpens are going to come through big time after that started to bridge that gap to their closer? Who's going to come through? Stay tuned. It's going to be fun to watch.
And it appears that the Cardinals will have the home field advantage. They have the best record, 88 wins. That's 8 more than the Dodgers. Bud Norris comes in to pitch for the Padres. He'll face Carlos Gonzalez, then Arenado and Morneau. 14th appearance for the hard-throwing right-hander. Much like Brett Wallace making the adjustment to being a pinch hitter. Norris from a starter, now a reliever. 96 on the fastball. Clint Barmas into the game for Jerko at shortstop on the double switch. Ground ball to first. Nice play by Myers, and the soft toss, 1 away. Cargo 1 for 4 tonight. Our closed captioning, as always, brought to you tonight by Wiener Schnitzel. Nolan Arenado fouled out the first time, singled the last 2. Had the dramatic 9th inning home run with 2 outs last night to tie the game at 1. Padres came right back on the Spangenberg double. Barma's sacrifice and Brett Wallace's fielder's choice to win it 2-1. San Diego 6-1 against the Rockies here at Petco this year. And have a 9-4 lead tonight. Check this swing. Justin Morneau to follow. .96 strike.
You know, Dick, I know I've asked you this question before, but I want to ask you again. Who taught you to keep score? Like your style?
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad.
Me too.
we kept score. That was part of the fun. You'd sit by the radio and keep score.
I remember going to the game and buying the pencil and scorecard.
And they don't do that anymore. That was part of the whole process. You had the hot dog and the peanuts and popcorn, Cracker Jacks, but you also bought the 25-cent scorecard and you kept score during the course of the game.
Just curious because everybody has their own little system. And I know we even did a show on that once, I think, a couple of years back.
No, I refined it as a broadcaster. I mean, that was a very simple score. You did the 4-3 and a single was one line and whatever. But now I do wiggly lines for ground ball singles and line drives with arrows for the line drive.
It's like your own little language.
Yeah, it's hieroglyphics. Nice thing about it is if the spies ever get my book, they won't be able to read it.
We'll need the decoder ring, right?
That's exactly right. 22,764 is the announced attendance. Hope you'll be out here tomorrow. Day ball, 12:40. Swing and a miss, and Arenado unhappy with himself. Strikeout, Bud Norris is first. And time now for the Cholula flamethrower.
Well, Bud Norris out of the bullpen. We know he can get it up there. 97.
What is that?
Hot sauce!
Boy, the intercom's working tonight.
Breaking ball, hanger, and Arenado. How mad is he? He wants to maybe break that bat over his helmet. Boy, he's high energy, isn't he? Nolan Arenado.
He expects to get a hit every time. I like it. He has more home runs on the road than at Coors Field, which is somewhat of a surprise. Morneau with a big swing. Has an RBI single and a walk tonight. 1 for 2. He gets him swinging. 97 on that fastball. 2 strikeouts for Norris. A 1-2-3 inning. And we're at the stretch half of the 7th at Petco Park in San Diego, where the hometown Padres have a 5-point advantage. U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Air Force National Guard saluted on the Sunday last. Always, you put a star on Sundays at Petco Park for Military Day. New pitcher is Jason Gurka, 27-year-old left-hander, rookie. Grew up in the Baltimore Orioles organization. He faces Melvin Upton, a couple of doubles for Melvin, and an RBI tonight.
Pretty much a two-pitch pitcher, this left-hander Gurka. Fastball and a curveball, 89 and 93.
He had a ground ball right side. LeMahieu at the edge of the grass to throw out Upton for the first out.
Hey, while we have a minute, Dick, a very integral part of our truck down there, Fox Sports San Diego, the guy who's the brains behind everything. JT, John Turner, it's his birthday today. He's the engineer in charge. It's good to have him back. He beat the charges, and on this birthday, down in the truck, everybody's having a good time. And we congratulate him that he's still working at the age of 68. He's collecting Social Security.
He's a puppy.
He's double dipping. And the main thing, beating the Chargers, he's back at work. It's good to have him.
Did he beat the Chargers or the Chargers?
Charges.
Oh, the Chargers.
So he's back.
I thought, man, 68, and he's beating
so
the San Diego Chargers.
Everything's fine. So JT, he's the best. I love that guy.
I know he's strong. He had a flat tire. He just lifted up the truck. Spangenberg singled his last time and scored. Hit by a pitch earlier. He's 1 for 2. Big curveball for Gurka. Spangenberg with 1 out. Bases empty here in the 7th. Down he goes on a high fastball at 92. 2 away.
Hey, we promised you earlier, and we always follow through on our promises. We've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to #SDDataStrongFan. Chance to be featured in upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Hey, Miss Padre, Jess. She's always on Twitter. She watches every single game. She watches every single pitch.
Clint Barmas hitting in the 9th spot. Fouls that away.
Jess, that's some kind of nice, Miss Padre.
She was puckered up, like she
Big
was
fan.
in love with the Padres.
Oh, she loves her Friars.
Look at that box score. Lots of base hits, 14 of them, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Padres with a pair of hits. 6 Padres with 2 hits tonight. The big ones are the solo home run by Matt Kemp in the 1st, and the bigger one, the 3-run shot by Jerko, a home run in the 3rd. And that put the Padres ahead to stay. 2-2 score at the time. Marcus Mateo. Yeah, the Padres wrap up this homestand and hope you'll come out. Send them off tomorrow, and then they won't be back for a while. Go on a 3-stop trip. San Francisco for 3 on the weekend, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Arizona, an off day Thursday, and they'll wrap up the road trip in Colorado the following weekend. And then back home. Giants, Arizona, and Milwaukee. Final homestand. Fly ball slicing toward the right field seats and lands on the warning pad.
Remember we talked about Star Wars night? I got my Star Wars characters mixed up.
You did?
Yeah. I said I wanted to be C-3PO, and it's that little guy. It's not the C-3PO is the guy in the gold outfit.
Oh.
R2-D2 is the
that's
little guy.
right. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, that was my bad.
That's okay. I was actually understanding you.
Now that's when you run into trouble.
I know, and that happened.
Don't ever trust anything I say.
With Al McGuire. When I started to understand him, I knew that I had one foot in the
that's one guy I wish I could have met.
Off the curb,
That's one guy I wish I could have met.
Oh man, no one like him. No one in second place. Line drive deep to left field. Did Barmas get it all? And it's off the base of the wall. Here's the throw into second base, and he's in with a double. Another 2-base hit by the Padres as Barmas joins the party. 15th hit of the night.
This looks like an off-speed pitch that he kind of goes down and gets.
The 5th double to go with a couple of home runs.
A breaky ball down and in and over the heart of the plate. Speeds up the bat of Clint Barmas. Good for Clint.
So even a couple of hits out of the 9th spot in the batting order. Pinch hitter Dickerson and now Barmas. Will Myers grounded out to short, then grounded to short into a double play. Lined a single in the 4th and beat out an infield tap in the 6th inning. Better tell the fans again we're at Petco Park for this game. We're not at Coors Field in Denver.
Right.
But it is 9-4. Off the edge, 2-0. Tyson Ross has been outstanding. His record doesn't reflect how well he's pitched. 10-10 goes tomorrow against Jorge De La Rosa, the lefty veteran. Line drive, right field, another hit for Myers. Around third comes Barmas. Here's Cargo's throw to the plate. They cut it off, and the run scores, and on to second goes Myers. I think they had a shot at Barmas. 3rd straight hit for Will Myers. A couple of RBIs tonight.
Well, we know that Will Myers can put a charge into one and pull the baseball. Left field, left center field. But look at him go out and get this one. The 2-seamer down and away. Stay on it. Take it that way. That is a pretty swing. 2 hands on that bat. Getting those hands through. And scoring Clint Barmas, the former Rocky. And nice to see double digits. They can the R column. 10 now for San Diego.
10-4. 10-4, isn't that the police code when they say 10-4?
That's 10-4.
Yep. Does that mean the game's over here now?
Trucker. No.
Oh, I thought that was kind of 10-4 meant it's over.
10-4.
Or just understanding.
10-4 meaning it's A-OK for Will Myers.
Oh, okay. Myers winds up at second base on the throw. And Jan Solarte, the batter. He's hit right, left, and now right again. Couple of hits. He had infield hit right-handed. Line drive RBI single left-handed in the 6th inning. Now back on the right side with Matt Kemp waiting in the wings. Solarte's average up to 274. As you grade each player on their season, Solarte comes out with some handsome grades, don't you think?
I totally agree with you there, Professor.
He's a better hitter than I thought at the start of the season. Thought he would, because of his switch hitting ability, he would get a lot of action, but he's locked that third base job up.
Brings some energy to the team. Good on the bare hand on the charge. That little dribbler down the third base line. Accurate throw, also accurate arm.
12 home runs. And he rips that one into left field. Here comes Myers around third. He's going to score. It's 11-4 as Solarte has 3 hits tonight and a couple of RBIs.
Well, the one thing I've noticed about Solarte, and obviously more left-handed at-bats than right-handed, but sometimes right-handed the swing can get a little too long on the right side than the left side, but he gets his hands in quickly there. And that's when you have that sound and that sharp spot through the left side of the infield, scoring Myers. Short, quick to the baseball on that one from the right side. Another good sign for Jan Hervis Solarte.
Myers scores for the 2nd time tonight, and here's Matt Kemp. 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs, a home run, his 20th. He scored twice. So at the top of the order, Myers and Solarte, 3 hits each. Ball 1. All of this with 2 outs, 3 consecutive hits. Barmas with a double, then RBI singles Myers and Solarte. Off speed, changeup. You know, there's so many good things at the Padres organization, the Padres players, their involvement in so many wonderful charitable causes in our community. And we started to tell the story and didn't finish it yesterday on the players' wives. Remember, they raised money with the baskets,
right?
The players' favorite things. It might be memorabilia, it might be tickets to their favorite movie or a video, whatever. You know, that money is going to the Monarch School. They raised $48,000.
Wow, good for them.
In that effort. That's terrific.
Absolutely.
Tip of the Padre cap. 2-2 now to Kemp. That was a silent auction, and fans, understandably, were excited about bidding on those baskets. High fly ball, shallow and right. A long run for Gonzalez. He calls off LeMahieu, and the inning comes to an end. But the Padres plate 2 more on 3 2-out hits. And we have an 11-4 San Diego lead.
It's top of the 8th inning. Mark and I are working on Padres Live, the post-game show, brought to you by Cox Communications. Tonight's night for Jed Jerko.
Well, with a home run, this really changed the game a lot. 3-run home run. Jed Jerko has a lot of confidence in that swing, and you could see him powering that baseball just inside the fair pole.
Yeah, that ball was driven. It's his 14th home run of the year. When Mark and I see on Padres Live, the post-game show, we'll break down all the action here and all around baseball and give you a close look at that National League East, which we thought was going to be a much better race when the Mets were playing the Nationals. We'll have the highlights, the standings, the breakdown, and we'll also tell you why what is thought to be a young man's game, not necessarily the case here in Major League Baseball. Wait until you see how some of the more senior players have been performing here in 2015. So we see you gentlemen after the final out.
All right, thank you, Michael. As Marcus Mateo will toe the slab here in the top of the 8th inning. LeMahieu, Dickerson, and Garneau scheduled.
Chance for Marcos Mateo to go out there and go right after these Rockies hitters, flip up some breaking balls and have a quick inning. And look who's out in right field. Some more speed for the Padres. Travis Jankowski.
And Rocky Gale takes over behind the plate for Norris. LeMahieu, RBI single in the first, and he struck out and grounded into a double play sense. There's Rocky. 170-pound catcher.
Love it.
He's been battling all his life to get to the big leagues, and this was his year.
I remember watching him in spring training, and I really liked the way he set up behind home plate. You know, usually like a a big frame catcher. But Rocky Gale does a fine job.
He's built like a middle infielder.
So he sets up there, good low target, frames it well.
Ball wasn't that close to LeMahieu, jumps away. Played for Pat Murphy at El Paso. Murphy said, just love this guy. He just gives you everything he's got. And Mateo walks the leadoff man to open the 8th inning. Thank goodness for the sizable lead for the Padres. That's the last thing you want to see. Free ticket to lead off the inning. Corey Dickerson hitting in tough luck tonight. He's lined to right and lined to short and walked.
Well, according to the media guide of the San Diego Padres, given name Rocky Michael Gale.
Yeah, he said Rocky is his name on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Mateo hurrying that one up to the plate at 97. And that American League East is tight again. Toronto lost, the Yankees won, so Toronto's lead carved to a half game. That's a soft fly ball to Barmas, who ranges back from shortstop. Our Bill Howe play of the game defensively. A speed, Blackman at second base. A single through the left side by Cargo Gonzalez, but look at Justin Upton, charges. Rears up and fires a perfect strike to home plate, and Derek Norris with a slap tag. That is our Bill Howe play of the game. And a big play it was. It came back in the first inning, denying the first possible run for the Rockies. They did get 2 later in that first frame. Dustin Garneau, it's a big night for the young catcher, hitting his first big league home run, a 2-run shot in the 4th inning off James Shields. A 27-year-old born in Torrance up in Southern California, the LA area. Rafael Inoa is in the on-deck circle, and pitcher spot due next. Two balls and a strike. Could be 2. There's 1. Back to first base. A double play around the horn. Solarte, Spangenberg, and Myers. The Padres turn 2, and that's it for the Rockies in the 8th. Portobello mushroom buttery jack. Have you tried it with melted garlic herb butter? And by Petco, what we feed them matters. The Padres 11 runs tonight on 17 hits, leading the Rockies 11-4. Colorado 4 runs and 8 hits. Bottom of the 8th inning, new pitcher Brooks Brown, the 6th, used by Walt Weiss tonight. There are his numbers.
Remember Brooks Brown, he came in the game on Monday night in the 6th inning, a third of an inning. Well, Walt Weiss wasn't lying. He's using them all, getting them innings.
Barnes goes into right field for Gonzalez, and Ynoa at third base on the switches made. Padres will bring up Justin Upton, Jed Jerko, and Derek Norris. Upton with a walk. His last at bat, he's 0 for 3, the only 0 for in the lineup tonight. The fans going through a howling contest.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Despaigne getting ready. It's kind of what they do at the Aztec basketball games. They do that when the opposition's bringing the ball up the court.
Yeah.
It's a nice little distraction. Two balls and a strike to Upton.
I was wondering if there's a full moon tonight. Maybe they're howling at the moon.
Yeah, maybe it's the
done that a few times.
Warm weather. You have? We're still playing at Arizona tonight. The Diamondbacks lead 2-1 over the Giants in the 8th. Giants 8.5 back of the Dodgers. Ooh, he hit that a ton, but way foul. That into the third deck, turns all the way downstairs, and then there's Souvenir.
Give it to the kid. Get it, kid. Oh, give it to the kid. Come on.
Well, he's kind of a kid. Boy, he came a long way to take it away from the kid. Fans are booing him. Oh, he's going to give it to the kid.
There you go.
That's
good for you.
Well done. Good for him. Full count now to Justin Upton. Roller into the shift. LeMahieu gets the out. And the young man, that's nice to see on both ends. Thank you. He's got a San Diego State Aztec champion.
He's so fired up right now.
He can't wait to show that prize off tomorrow. Alexi Amarista hitting for Jerko. If you're wondering about the hit total, 17, if that's the high for the year, no. At 20, the Padres collected 20 hits earlier in the season. And another young lad with that prized possession. After Amarista, it'll be Rocky Gale getting on that bat. His second major league at bat coming up. And Amarista adds to the total. Solid base hit for the Ninja.
18 hits tonight for San Diego, 11 runs. Nice to see Alexi get into the act.
And here's Rocky Gale, 0 for 1 as a big league hitter. Really got to root for him. Hit over 300 down to Del Paso. Not much power, but makes good contact. Yeah, here's our pick to stick with that single by Amarista. That is in Jerko's place, and no one picked Jerko. And it's tightening. Hey, even the season's not over.
It's a long season.
Yeah, look, I'm catching somebody somewhere.
Yeah, we've seen some strange things happen in this game of baseball. Stay tuned.
I'm only about 6 Grand Slam homers away from the lead. Budden doing well tonight, though. She gets 4. Pomeranz 5.
I could just see Chris Budden in line at getting coffee in the morning. Long line. People are saying, "Hey, aren't you?" And she says, "Yeah, leader and pick the stick."
And they say, "Come right up. You can go up in the front of the line."
Don't you know who I am?
Two and two now to Rocky Gale. Derek Norris in this spot in the batting order had a single and a double. Scored a couple of runs.
I'd like to see the kid get a hit here.
Oh, I would too. You never know how many chances you're going to get. And at 27, pops that one, but it's right to LeMahieu. Goes to the bag himself. His throw is low. Dug out by Morneau. A double play. On to the 9th. Last call for the Rockies, trailing by 7. For the game. He's
love Phillip Rivers.
He's a wonderful guy. We're lucky to have him. He won't have the man that caught the pass on that video the first 4 games, however, Antonio Gates. I like what I've seen of the Chargers. I think they're going to have a good year.
I hope so for Coach McCoy and the coaching staff there. Good luck this year.
Odrisamer Despaigne makes his 30th appearance.
Oh, an inning of work for Odrisamer.
13th relief request by the Padres as Alexi Amarista takes over for Justin Upton in left field. Rafael Inoa hitting in the 9th spot in the order, leads it off and sends a fly ball softly to center. Long run for Upton, And he lets it fall in there for a base hit. Farmas was there as well. And Inoa has a true Texas League single. Well, look at this. Let's flash back. Earlier this summer, a freak rainstorm hit San Diego. That was, I believe, in July. A month where you're, July 19th to be exact, a month where you never get a drop of rain, and we had a torrential. And so that's why we have a game tomorrow, as the Rockies game and the Padres postponed. Charlie Blackmon, infield hit, walk, and safe on an error, 1 for 3 on the evening. Rolls it to second. Spangenberg gets the force out. To Barmas. 1 away. Well, tomorrow at noon we'll be on the air with Tyson Ross on the mound for the Padres. Even without his best slider, another great outing last time out. And Jorge De La Rosa, who is 9-6. Southpaw will go for his 10th win for the Rockies. Hope you'll be with us at noon, our TV time. A half hour earlier, a 12:40 game. Getaway day for both teams. The Rockies will head up north to Seattle for 3, and then the Dodgers for 3 on this road trip, and Padres go to San Francisco right after the game. Jose Reyes walked and scored, 0 for 3 in the game. Arenado and Gonzalez taken out by Walt Weiss in this lopsided game. So they will not get at bats here in the 9th. High fly ball to right center, and Upton. Melvin there for the catch. 2 away. Reyes retired. He wears the collar tonight. And batting in Gonzalez's spot in the batting order is Barnes. Brandon Barnes getting a chance to swing the stick. Padres an out away from making it 7-1 at Petco on the season, and 11-4 overall.
And a chance to win 3 out of 4 in this series with tomorrow's day game.
Pitcher spot is next, and if Barnes keeps it going, it'll be Ben Paulson hitting. Two and 1. Carlos Gonzalez 1 for 4 in the game. He singled back in the first inning. 22,764 the Padre faithful here tonight. A warm late summer's evening. The Padres bats were hot. That's a long drive to left field. Will that stay in the ballpark? Amarista will have to play it off the boards. On to third goes Inoa, and into second with a double as Barnes. And that will continue this 9th inning, and Ben Paulson will bat. So a bloop single and a double given up by Despaigne here in the 9th.
Yeah, with the first time for Rocky Gale behind the plate, and Despaigne on the mound. This is a hanging breaky ball. How close? Maybe a couple feet from the bottom of the wall, but getting the signs straight with that runner on second base with a series of signs with Rocky Gale now catching.
Blackmon, who was safe in the fielder's choice, moves around to third on the double. And here's Paulson. Now another good bat in the lineup for Colorado. Paulson hitting .279 and 10 home runs. And that's in just less than 300 at bats. You prorate that. If you're a full season 600, he's a 20 home run guy. Oh, and 2 down to the final strike. Broken bat, fly ball. Tucked away by Jankowski, and the Padres win impressively tonight. The final score, San Diego 11, Colorado 4. And here's Mike Pomerantz.
Hey, Dick, thanks very much. That was a nice ball game for the Friar. What we see in just a couple of moments on Padres Live, the post-game show. You're going to hear from Pat Murphy, and we'll tell you how the